All right, so I know a couple people kept working on their flight plan, but we're going to start from where we left off in class and go from there.
Do you have another copy of it?
Yes, I do. Thanks.
No, but that's the standard.
All right.
So now you have to do the deviation, which is everything
So if they're both pluses, you just minus it. It'd be
This
I think so, I think it's really that other stuff.
Okay, so 14
If you could just.
is the deviation.
So I see what it is.
Plus or minus.
Yeah.
Well, you have to minus
Like I said, clean.
Yeah.
this one, this one.
Well, that's nice.
Ooh, that sun's going to boil you guys today.
It was freezing out there today. And I thought I was gonna get frostbite. And you think I'm joking, but I'm not.
All right. So, how you guys feeling with this stuff so far? Doing number one here. One on your own. Feel sketchy?
Yeah, I feel like if I had all of the steps, which I guess I do in Adam's thing, but still.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Well, and
Like
I've
my own
been,
steps.
yeah. So, as we've been going through this one, I've been saying, you know, this is step one, this
Right.
is step two. So write them down and make sure that you're, you know, and then you guys can kind of tweak them and add your notes to the steps, you know, I'm gonna figure out this to figure out this.
You said right down the step? Yeah, I couldn't hear you, sorry. Okay.
Unless you don't want to know the steps.
I do.
Okay. So we left off on our weight and balance yesterday, right? So up to this point, you guys are feeling pretty good about your weight and balance, right? This isn't good. See where I put my paper. Okay. So after we figure out our weight and balance, what's our next step? Does anybody remember?
Flight altitude.
Yeah, we got to get our altitude capability correct. So in order to get our altitude capability, what chart are we using and what do we have to know?
We have to know the direction we're flying.
Okay, got to know direction that we're flying. Is it an eastbound or westbound flight? It's west, it's 1,000. So it's a westbound flight, so it's. And then we got to know, what was the other thing? I heard you guys say it. ISA. At where? At
Destination?
Departure and destination.
departure.
We will eventually.
For our altitude capability, we just need to know it at our departure.
At our departure.
Yeah. All right. I don't know where that came from. Anyways, so everybody go ahead and take a look at your departure airport. Find the altitude of your departure airport and then plan your ISO.
Okay, so find elevation at departure.
Yeah, so you gotta know what the elevation is at your departure airport. And then you use that to find your ISA deviation.
You might have wrote it down at the elevation at Denver. I don't know if the Denver one is the Denver one is the 543.
Airport elevation.
Yeah, so Garrett rounded it up to 5.5. So you know how you take like 5,
It must be the same.
like 5.5 and times it by 2. I don't know if you remember that. And then so I got 5. And then I take 18 degrees minus 5 and I I don't know if it's, no, you have, okay, so for every,
Sorry.
1,000 feet you go up, you lose
Got you.
2 degrees Celsius.
Okay, so you got 2,000 per 1,000. And you have 5,000, you rounded it down because it isn't 5,500. Right?
Yeah, he rounded it to 55. I left,
So you round down on altitude?
No, he rounds up.
No, I round up. Remember, we
So
want
it's
to
54, you go to 6 then?
No. Every 500 feet, we lose a degree, right?
Right. So
So it's
go to 5,500 then?
yeah. So our calculation is our standard lapse rate is 2 degrees per 1,000, right? So for every 1,000 feet, so here's 0. For every 1,000 of feet of elevation, we lose 2 degrees, right? Which means if we go up 500 feet, that's just 1, right? So if you round it to the nearest 500, that's a pretty easy calculation.
The ISA deviation at the airport?
At the departure airport, yes. Oops.
I can use my phone, but I hate how it times out.
Where the hell did that paper go?
What are we fighting at the ice?
It's 15.
1% positive.
So minus 11, so the number's 4.
Positive 4. Because it's wrong.
But then you still take that number and subtract it from 18 degrees to get the answer of
So does everybody have ISA?
Is this?
And I get confused because I want to make this
What is that?
ISA, but this is ISA, but not ISA. Right?
This is.
It's confusing.
This is the, yeah, this is for the
Yeah.
SID.
Oh, that one? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Okay, yeah, so this right here. So,
I know that I had that egg here yesterday. That's X. I'm gonna run down to my car real quick. I'll be right back.
Look at local weather, just see how far it's deviated from what ISO should be.
So what I do, and you
That's
they took me
17,
correct,
right? 17 degrees.
if you get. Yeah, I think 18. Okay.
So that's-
I took 18 or 17, it's really, it's not, it is gonna matter, but it's not gonna matter, so.
What's the Crunchers 2025?
So the elevation,
Oh, this, okay, this is backwards, I was thinking most recent. I got
so
you,
we
yeah.
take our elevation.
So it should be 4 degrees normal.
4.
But
Okay,
then the
so
deviation, if
yeah,
it's 18,
you take
that means
18
it's,
minus 4, right?
so that means it's ISO, which is 4. Plus 14.
No, or I take, I took 18 degrees, that's what it is in
That's what it is.
And then
So it should
so
be
I
4.
subtracted 4.
So
So
14.
then I get ISO at 14.
ISO 14, right?
Yeah. And then what happened is, because I messed it up, but it doesn't matter, because I think we're gonna be using ISO 15 for
Oh,
our charts, right? There is no ISO 14 on our.
which chart is that then?
I just want to make sure I can do that.
It's going to be, like, you know how, like the line chart, so this is, we're gonna start like figuring like the data boxes out.
Well, yeah, whatever. Is that, deviation. So it'll be around.
That one just
It's only do 5
burned
days.
down. Well, let's go back to your left. There was one that said ISO for a second.
I think there's one that says.
ISO and
Right there. Okay.
or what do you have?
So 13 degrees Celsius is what it says in the report. And the,
This chart, I don't know what it is, but I do know that the chart that we're gonna, there's a couple charts in here that we're gonna use.
There's ISO.
15 degrees is subtracted.
Oh, I see. So you go to the ISO chart. That's plus. Gotcha. That's by 5. So technically 14 is around 50. You're right.
Right, well, one thing is, and you have it the other way around, so you can, but I think our plane is
So,
That's right.
like 64
so yeah,
thousand
so you
pounds.
just take
So we're gonna do
your
that.
field elevation times by 2,
Hopefully,
and subtract that by 50.
and then, I know what our elevation is just because.
Yeah. Is this all out of this? Or is this?
One thing that I did figure
No,
out.
this is, so to find ISO, you gotta find ISO first, and then find the deviation from ISO. right?
Well, the elevation
So
will be
these are
flying
our,
in.
yeah, see,
So to
like
find
our elevation,
ISO,
we could be at
So
40,
you go
yeah, we could be at 40.
field elevation times
But
2.
when I looked at these wings and last charts, they don't give us an option of 40, so I'm assuming that we're like 40. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, what did you say? The
And
ISO
then
goes
you
4100.
subtract that, the
So-
answer
But
of
that's
that
not even an
from
option.
15.
Yeah. If they've done a wind lucky with that.
And that's how you
And
get it.
then,
No, that's,
Did you get three?
Okay.
3,9 and 2.
yeah, but what I figured out too was
your
this, because then it was.
outside air
I don't have to
temperature
do
and
that.
subtract ISO.
So we're not gonna be flying.
So once you get this-
Well, this is just the max, so
Right,
max is 392.
And
And then you select out the type to the west, which is,
So it looks like you have it, right?
yeah, so if we're even.
So I just wanted to make sure. Like John number how to do ISO.
I spent
Oh,
hours,
I make
so
sure.
it's not like I know the radius, because if you look here,
Times two.
where we're leaving,
1,000.
in Skybreaker, it's 274, 278 here.
Or no, sorry.
And so when he gave us this little
No, so
thing
you
about,
minus,
you
or
know, if we're.
subtract that,
right, yeah, really easy.
so 15
This
minus
little thing's
11.
trying to get something.
4.
And I know we're not talking.
So your ISO is-
40,000 anyway, it's not even an option.
Right, just the first.
well, I
two
think that
numbers.
comes next. I mean, you
So-
first have to find out the max performance, so max performance is
You
392
When you set that equation,
Now
I
you're
got
selecting out the
8,385 as my.
Right.
based on
No,
the east
so-
and west.
It's just the first
And
two.
we're fine.
Okay, so to figure out our ISO deviation, first we gotta figure out ISO, right? Okay. So to figure out ISO, we take the first two numbers of the field elevation. So Denver is 5434, right? So if we go 5,500 feet, we just take these first two numbers,
Oh.
multiply those by 2. Okay? With that, we get 11. Okay? Once we have 11, we subtract that from our standard at sea level, because this is our deviation from standard, right?
Wait,
For our
55
altitude.
times 2 is 11?
5.5,
Oh,
5.5.
5.5, I was, okay.
because you know 2 per 1,000.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
that's our, okay.
sorry. So just change that comma for a dot, decimal. Okay, 5.5 times 2 is 11. Then we take 15, we subtract our 11 from that, and that gives us 4 degrees Celsius at Denver. Okay, this is ISA at Denver.
Where'd your 15 come from, Jared? Sorry.
That's our standard
Oh, the standard deviation,
temperature,
okay, that's
right?
temperature.
That's our
Okay.
standard temperature at sea
Sea
level.
level, okay, I forgot.
Okay, so you're looking at Salt Lake City.
Oh.
You gotta look at Denver.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's right.
That makes sense.
Okay, we are looking
Oh.
to figure out our climb capability.
Easy to do.
Yeah. So to figure out our climb capability, you guys have to look at the departure airport, okay? Because we are climbing from the departure airport, right? And we're figuring out how high can we get from our departure airport. Okay. So 4 degrees at Denver. Now to figure out our ISO deviation. What we gotta do is we gotta take ISA and we've gotta subtract that from our current outside air temperature. Right now in Denver, it's what, 18 degrees?
Right.
On this flight plan. So if it is 18 degrees at Denver, we've gotta take our 4 degrees minus our 8 degrees, or
Other way around, 18 minus 4.
sorry, 18 minus 4, because it's warmer. So let me switch this around. So our OAT minus our ISA. Okay, so that's 18 minus 4 equals what?
14.
14. Okay, 14 degrees C. ISA. This is a plus 14, right? Positive. Okay. So now with our performance charts, what do we need to round this to get our performance?
50.
15. Because our performance charts go in 5-degree increments, right?
Right. So that ISA deviation is written as ISA plus 14.
Huh?
That ISA deviation at Denver is written as ISA plus 14.
Yes, ISO plus 14 degrees Celsius. Okay. So with this being plus 14, we round that up to plus 15. So for our performance. Okay. Everybody good with that? Okay, so now that we have our ISA deviation, at Denver, okay, we can go on to our cruise capability chart. Did everybody print out these charts?
Is that one in that big package?
So can I hold this out really fast?
Yeah.
So this is our cruise capability chart, right? Altitude selection. Okay. With that chart, you've got, okay, you have your weights down here. Okay, so this one's like 52, 54, 56, whatever.
What's the name of that
Okay.
document here?
It's the, on the Google Drive, if you go to the,
It's,
IFR 5.
Flight planning, altitude
no,
selection.
that one.
CRJ.
That should be it. I hope. Okay. Then on this side, you have your altitudes, right? Times 1,000. I think 1,000. Anyways, you've got like 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, or something. Basically, you've got your altitudes here. Okay, then you've got 3 bars here. This one says plus 15 degrees Celsius. This one says plus 10 degrees Celsius. Or
Yeah.
2015.
10.
Okay, so we'll just put this on here. So 20 degrees, 15 and 10 degrees or below, right? Okay, so what we do to figure out our altitude that we're capable of cruising, we'll take our takeoff weight, which is on your weight and balance chart. We'll go straight up until we hit our ISA deviation, right? For Denver, it's 15 degrees. Okay, once we hit that 15-degree line, we go straight over to here, and that'll give us our altitude. Okay.
our gross weight is a takeoff weight.
Yeah, so our takeoff, gross weight is the takeoff weight. Okay, good.
It would be, so I just want to make sure I'm reading this. So it would be at 40,000 feet we can cruise it.
See,
Um,
don't write too much on this chart, because you gotta use it for all of them.
yeah, that's what I'm doing. So 64 up to 15 degrees Celsius.
Straight over.
40,000.
So 39,000, so we'll go down. So it may end up somewhere in between two numbers, right? On our altitude selection, we always go down to the nearest 1,000. Okay? Because what this is saying is that the absolute highest we could climb would be like 39,282 feet. Okay? So if we round up, that's not a we're not capable of climbing to that number, right? So we've always got to round down. And then, once we've rounded down, so we round down to 39,000 feet, right? So this is the flight level that we're capable of being at. Now we've got to go neon Sweden, right? And what do we come up with?
38,000.
Okay, so we're heading west. We've got to go even thousands. So our altitude that we're going to select for this flight will be flight level 380. Okay. I see some confusion here.
Yeah.
It's just
What did you-
my hands are really spinning.
What is the new method? So I know the NEOS moving, so if we got 39,000, and how can you put a 38,000 again?
Because
You round
the
up.
highest that we can go is 39,282. If we can't climb higher than that, we can't go up, right?
Mhm.
So we need to round down. So the absolute highest flight level that we can fly is 390. But if we apply this neon Sweden, we are flying southwest, or we're flying west. So we have to plan an even altitude. Well, the next lowest even altitude that we can plan would be 380.
Oh.
So airplanes in RVSM airspace, we can have 1,000-foot separation between our directions, right? 1,000 feet.
Test question.
So that's how we stack them in there in RVSM airspace. Every 1,000 feet.
Reduced vertical
1,000 feet.
Okay, everybody good today?
What's the maximum flight altitude for the 700?
For the 700, it's on our chart. Let's see. I'm gonna have to pull it out because I don't look at it every day. At 41,000?
410.
So
Yep, sounds right,
Our winds
41,000.
aloft only goes to
Oh.
39,000, is that correct? So even if we can fly 38, we still fly 34, right?
Right, so actually, the CRJ in the SkyWest stuff, our max cruise would be, maximum operating altitude is actually 37,000 feet, but for this class, we'll max out our charts.
The 700 is 37,000.
That's what we cruise at. That's our max cruise.
So technically, we could go down to 36,000.
Yeah, but since we're in this class,
So,
we'll get better numbers.
so we'll do that on the practical, and he's not gonna care what altitude, just figure it out.
No, he's not gonna care. He's gonna care that you used your charts and understand your charts. Pretty good. Questions? Okay. That being said, now that we've figured out our altitude, what's the next step? Yep, now we've got to do our simplified flight plan. Okay, so what do we need to do? What chart do we need to go to figure out our simplified? You guys remember?
The IFR flight plan sheet.
So it is it's going to be in our performance charts. Yep, it's our spaghetti chart.
Is it that, let's see, CSPB018?
Yeah, BO18.
Thanks, Bob.
So let's pull that up really quick.
Hold on a second.
Alrighty, okay. Let's see. I'll try to get this as big as I can.
Oh, that's very.
Okay. Now, if you guys remember, on the bottom, so there's actually like 3 charts like this that look like this. On the bottom, our truth distance is what we're going off of here. That's why there's different charts. But since we're only going, what was it, 300 and something miles?
372, I think.
372 miles. So we're going to use the chart that has the 372 miles, right? Okay. That being said, who remembers how to use this chart?
So you would
Start with one.
yes, start at the very bottom, work your way up to whatever cruise altitude you're gonna go to.
Nope. You just pick quite a bit.
Well, we have to
Sorry,
figure
I
out
don't
if we have a headwind. But from the chart, I didn't know what variable headwind at 8 knots meant.
Okay.
That means you
Calm?
take that for calm, right?
So variable means that it's coming from multiple directions.
Right.
It's just changing, it's swirling.
Meaning you don't know.
Right, but it's still at 8 knots regardless, so.
Or it was 3 knots inside.
So you
Yeah.
use it.
So on our flight plan here, we have our winds aloft chart. So we've got to figure out our average winds along the route, okay? So the first thing that I do when I'm flight planning is I always look at my next step. So I know that I got to go to my simplified flight plan. And then when I look at my simplified flight plan, I go, oh, that means that I have to figure out A, B, and C before I can actually use this chart. Does that make sense? So we saw that we needed our altitude, we needed our winds, and with that we can figure out our simplified flight plan, right? Okay, so our winds, we've got 2 VORs that are going to be in our central part, right? We've got Denver and Salt Lake as well. Okay, do we plan winds at takeoff and landing? No.
Just
Okay.
cruise.
For takeoff and landing, right, we only plan winds for cruise. Takeoff and landing, for some reason, winds don't exist. Okay. So when we're planning our winds, we're just going to go through our 2 central points, and then we're just going to run an average on those. So we're planning our flight at 38,000 feet. We're pretty close to this 39,000 feet, but if you want, you can kind of adjust a little bit using the 34,000 feet if you.
Start interpolating.
Yes.
Okay.
So interpolate this data is how you want to interpolate it. But once you go with something, that's one of our like motto or credo or whatever, is have a reason for what you do. So as long as you can say, I did it because this makes sense to me, you have a reason for what you do. You're not just guessing. Okay, so I'm gonna use 39,000 feet. But you guys do what you're doing.
I forgot how to interpolate the winds aloft if we're going in between. Like, I know how to do it, but I forgot, like.
So you know how to run averages, right?
Yeah, so.
So if you're gonna run an average between both of these sections,
I can't even read these numbers.
That is, oh yeah, I wrote it on the side.
you're gonna add each one of these up.
270. Second one, 270.
Oops, 20, sorry.
400, right?
Okay, that being said, that gives us 4, 10, 14. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 940, okay, 940, and we're gonna divide that by 4. And that gives us our average.
How did you get the 250?
I'm looking on my chart.
I mean, I can't see that.
You have it on your paper though, your route briefing. Your route briefing has the winds aloft.
Yeah, so.
So just take 250, right? So the first.
Did you say you're
first,
using 39,000?
I'm using 39,000 feet. So the first two numbers are our direction. The second two numbers are the speed. And the third two numbers are our temperatures.
And you're using Denver and Salt Lake, right?
I'm using the two en route, the two cruise. I'm only calculating my winds aloft for my cruise section of flight.
So why do you have 4?
Because I used 34,000 feet and 39,000 feet. I thought that's what he was trying to
Because you're in
say.
between.
Yeah, because I'm kind of in between. My altitude's gonna be kind of in between here.
But you're not actually gonna use that? You're just gonna
No,
use
I was
the
gonna
9,000.
calculate just
Okay,
these two.
okay.
But I thought his question
was-
was that he
Yeah.
wanted to use all 4.
I was like, I don't have that.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because, so like, I see that where it says like 25 and then, the up arrow 1, like, I don't see those numbers on here.
You don't see those numbers on your winds aloft chart?
Well, like, I see 25, like,
What
On the back.
altitude? What
Yep,
altitude?
back page.
Continues.
You gotta go to your winds aloft. See?
It's a fake break, Joe, so it's continued on the other side.
Yeah, I didn't see
Oh,
that. I didn't see that.
So it's,
I did.
oh, there is a page right there. So you've gotta use both pages.
It took me a minute.
I don't have my numbers also.
like, I can see you guys 65 miles per hour, this is 51.
Oh, I didn't say 65 miles per hour. I said 21,
Two,
or 255165, right?
And I averaged
I'm not
like
scared.
34,000.
I'm not scared.
All I'm doing is taking these two video blocks.
I don't know.
Okay, we're at
No, I understand.
38,000 feet,
Yes,
okay? At 38,000 feet, since the next lowest number is 34,000 feet, I'm just gonna round up to get my winds aloft data. Remember, we're keeping it simple here. I'm just gonna go up to 39,000 feet to pull my data, since I can pull true data from 39,000 feet. Okay, 39,000 feet, my winds aloft over MBW are 255165. My winds aloft over RKS are 226564. Okay,
Here, can I ask a question real quick?
yes,
So those 2 points are on that winds aloft because they're 2 points along the route?
yes.
Okay,
So those are two VORs that are en route between Denver and Salt Lake.
gotcha. I was trying to figure out why we didn't
in
use
fact-
Denver and Salt Lake.
Yeah, so in fact, these 2 points are like basically the top of the climb and top of descent, almost exactly. Okay, the reason, once again, why we're not using KSLC and KDEN on here is because winds are not planned
Gotcha.
on climb and descent.
What if those 2 points are the only ones you have? Is there ever an instance like that?
I mean, there
Salt
could
Lake,
be.
like Salt Lake to Twin Falls?
Well, even that, I mean, yeah. So you would just, in that case, to get your cruise, like, you're probably gonna be flying at like 18,000 feet. So I would just pull my data from 18,000 feet over those 2 stations to get as accurate as I could. Okay. Now that I have this data, wind direction, wind speed, and temperature, I take these two, add them together. That gives me what? 47. Divide that by 2. That will give me my average. Take these two, divide them, or add them up together. So that's what, 116, divide that by 2, take that, divide that by 2, and that gives me my averages between the two. Okay, and this will give me my average wind and average temps for my en route. Okay? Average winds, what's my wind direction and speed for average winds?
235 degrees, 58 knots.
235 at 58 knots. Okay?
That's what I got. Anybody else get that?
And my average temp, let's just say 65 degrees. That's a pretty simple one, right? There's a degree difference. And we don't work in averages. Okay. Now that we have that, we need to know what is, and we should already have this written down somewhere, what is our average heading for this flight?
Is it 278 or 274?
Okay, let's say 274. 274 degrees. Okay, and what is our distance, really quick?
370, I know.
What was that?
373.
Okay, 373.
The 274, so if you clear your
My average
Okay.
heading I got was
you'll see a little number.
260.
It says 274. Oh,
Okay,
here it
I
says
got 274.
Sorry, I'm a little lost because I'm writing stuff down. So I got to, using the 2 numbers in the middle to get my average for my wind speeds.
Mhm.
And then, so my number was, 116 divided by 2 is 58, okay, so that's right. Where'd the 235 come from?
So our two numbers were 250, or 25 and 22, right? We gotta add a 0 onto the end for our direction. Whenever we're looking at winds aloft, always add that 0 onto our winds.
And that was
Oh,
just
so you're getting
these
averages for all of them, all the brackets of the numbers.
Yeah, I'm getting
Okay.
averages for these
I'm
two
sorry.
waypoints. You're fine.
Average for cruise and then the
How did
other
you
one.
how did you guys get 274 for the average heading? Because on my flight away it says
Did you do just
You have to
direct?
add 10%, right?
you have to add 10%.
Don't you add 10% to your
No.
distance?
Not, or to our distance, but not to our heading.
Right, but that's how we got the 27. I think it's like with his,
10%
it says like 339 and then you add 10%, whichever, I don't know if it
But
was
that's for
33.9.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's asking about heading.
oh,
He got 260 for his average heading.
Because that's what it says right here, the purple line's right on 260. Going this way.
Because there's only a straight line, that's all it could do.
So this is not the straight line, right? Not a,
Yeah, so we're going direct here.
so I can't use this.
So if you just cut that, so highlight it, cut. No. Control X.
Control.
No, highlight it, then Control X. Okay, now hit enter. There's your direct heading.
Okay,
So what is that?
oh, now I see what you're saying.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Now paste it back in there. Control V back in the box. And then just,
Some extra, yeah, got it.
your heading will be on your purple bar. Keep
Oh,
going. There it is. 274, 340.
here, I have a question, not only there, I hear how you're saying it, find it on the computer, but when we do our site planning, we won't have access to a computer, right? We won't be able to.
Right, you'll do it on the charts.
Okay,
So-
so that's, I was,
So let's pull up a chart. Everybody want to come up here really quick? Okay. So everybody gather around.
so we're all gonna have one of these.
Yeah, you're just going to use these charts that I have for your flight plan. So 2 seconds. So we're going to print out this map really quick. Okay. Now to find our average heading, when we're doing our flight planning, you're probably not going to want to draw an actual line. Let me see. But you guys will have this.
Seems like a month ago.
It's like, so there's 2 ways to do this. So on here, you're going to be flying jet routes, right? So this is Seattle here. Let's just do Seattle to Spokane really quick. Seattle to Mullen Pass, okay? Right here gives us a heading. If we are flying from Seattle to Mullen Pass, this jet route, we've got a heading of 072 and 252. What way are we heading if we're going from Seattle to Mullen Pass?
East.
We're headed east, so what makes sense? 072 or 2, where did I find? Oh, right here, 252. So 252, we are flying, oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm sorry, so 072 is what we'll use for heading there, okay? So we'll just write down our first leg, 072, and then we'll write down the distance of 53 miles.
We're gonna do like a weighted average.
I'm sorry, not 53 miles. You do 118. Remember, you gotta find this, if you're going from VOR to VOR, you gotta find the one in the box below the line. So 118 is your total, but if you add 24, 53, and 41, that gives you 118. Okay? Then we go to our next leg from Ephrata, I don't know how to say that name, to here, we're gonna go 66. So 066 is our heading that we're gonna fly, and it's gonna be 154 miles.
Okay, so the heading's always gonna just be the first
You're just
number.
gonna fly, well, you're just gonna fly from VOR to VOR.
Okay,
Yeah.
Just make sense of it too, say I'm flying from this.
But yeah, that is the heading coming off.
Yes,
The heading's where that line is, that's the.
so that's, we call those
072
radials on our VOR, right?
where 072 is the heading.
Yeah, so 072 is our heading, 118 is our
Distance.
nautical miles, that's the distance between the two. The other way is we use this handy dandy instrument called a plotter. Okay, what we would do with a plotter, if this is what we're going to be using, You just line it up, okay, somewhere on here. Find the line that you're trying to fly here. Okay, I'm flying from this VOR to this VOR. So I'll put both of those VORs in my thing here, and then I'm gonna rotate this so it's parallel with this line here, our line of longitude. Okay. You can rotate it, or I mean, you can move it so that it lines up exactly. But then we just read our heading up here. And then we'd have to add our magnetic variation to that. Because remember, this chart accounts for a magnetic variation.
Okay.
So our magnetic variation here, let's see if I can see the line here. Where's that? There should be a, I'm trying to remember where it's going. Yeah, the green line, light green line
This is another one.
is 16 degrees east.
You pull
So
out
what was our-
sunglasses for that.
What was our, it was 92 or 93 on this, and then we are almost on that green line, so we subtract, east is least, 16 degrees east, we'd subtract 16 from 93. What does that give us?
So that gives you your average 77.
77? So that's a rough guesstimate, right? So that's how we do it using a plotter. Now, it's a lot easier just to use,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
so, yeah, and then just average your headings. If you know how to do the weighted average, do the weighted, but either way, you're not gonna be very far off. There's gonna be maybe a 5 to 10 degree variance, but that shouldn't throw your numbers off too bad. Okay.
For the
Just
practical,
keep it
these would be okay if we use the heading right up off the VOR.
Right, because you gotta remember, we're just using our average heading here to calculate our simplified flight plan. Our simplified flight plan numbers are estimates, they're not actuals. We'll figure out our actuals, and that's what he's gonna look at, is he's gonna look at, he'll open up your flight plan to your IFR flight plan, and he'll go, okay, your numbers, you got the right headings, you got the right ground speeds, and your weight's pretty close to mine, so you're good. That's pretty much what he wants to see.
So, I got one question. So if you're using this numbers,
The radius.
so if you're using the radial numbers, 072, and then you're going to 065, how do you know which one to use? Do you just kind of
Well,
this thing those?
No, so you're using 072 off of the Seattle Tacoma VOR.
Mhm.
So if you're using this radial, you'll fly that until you hit Ephetra or whatever,
Yeah.
Ephetra. Does anybody know how to say that? Ephrata. Sounds right.
Escalada?
Sounds delicious.
Why not something like that for like your average? Because you have this number changes as well. You're going all the way to here.
Well, hold on. So remember, this leg will be 7.2. So I would write down 7.2, and then I would add 6.6 to it, right? Because 6.6 to Mullen Pass. So
So if you average those two.
So you're just taking averages of all these first numbers along however many?
right in the direction that we're going.
So the average of those two is what, 69?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
So,
I'm going to, so if we just said, hey,
so 69 is our average heading.
Okay,
That's
that's
what
what I
we would
was-
use.
Yeah, that's what I want.
And what do we-
Minus our, this.
Nope, don't have to do that.
Oh, it's only
If we're
for
using
the
the
car.
cars.
The nice
Only if
thing
we're
is we're
using
not
the cars.
using, okay.
So remember that these maps are exactly what you see on Skype. Those are the maps you're using. So when you're using Skyvector, kind of dissect it a little bit, use Skyvector for your distances and go, okay, I see this box here. My box, or my distance for this leg is going to be this number.
I see what you're saying, I just feel like because we're not gonna be able to use Sky Vector, like for me, while I'm doing this, I wanna be able to use whatever I'm gonna have to use
Yeah,
during testing, so I'm
and
familiar with it.
if you guys wanna use these charts,
Yeah.
you're more than welcome
Okay.
to, if you feel more comfortable using the charts.
I am now.
But I only have one set of charts and each one of these charts is like $7.50, so.
Where you doing?
At the airport. But you'd have to get
Each one,
H1 through H15, I think. And then you'd also have to get L1 through L15.
Can you just tell me what flight plan I'm doing and then I can go buy it?
Even then, you're probably gonna be using 3 or 4 maps per flight.
We'll just coordinate.
Yeah.
We can't all take it, like, multiple ones of us can't be taking it at the same
No.
time anyways.
But if you guys want to, whenever we do a flight plan, I can lay out the maps, and then you guys can come up here and look at them while you're flight planning and compare them to your Sky Vector, but, yeah.
If we can see it pretty well on Sky Vector, we'll be able to pick it out on the map.
Yeah,
Basically.
if you're,
should look the same, just like,
they do look the same.
I don't wanna do that.
So let's pull up Sky Vector really quick. I just want to show you guys oops, sorry. So we're on the high chart, remember? So that's H1 right there. Okay. And then you look at this chart. Okay. And look, you've got Seattle Tacoma VOR, 072 radial. You've got your distances here. And then you've got your 118 here. You've got Ephrata, right there. And then you've got, once again, you've got your distances, your jet route, your next VOR. Just when you're flight planning, don't rely on your pink line. Maybe that would be a way to do it.
Right. Or like even in the beginning when we went into Sky Vector, we put our 2 destinations to get our information. We have to do that on our charts, right?
Yeah, so,
We have to find all that information, all those numbers.
yeah, so all I do on my charts, if I'm using my charts, if I'm going from Seattle to Great Falls, I would just look at my distance in the box for in between each one of those VORs and add them on really fast. I would just go the most direct I could,
Right,
and then I'd pad it.
okay, then we do the 10%.
Yeah.
I print out the packet.
Are we using 400 as our true airspeed?
Yeah, we're gonna use 400 as our average true airspeed. Okay? Everybody good?
This one?
Okay.
Can I look at it?
No.
Okay, so what do we do with this information here?
Put it in the calculator.
Put it in the calculator.
Go in our app, huh?
Your handy dandy new E6B app. So yesterday I had them all buy the 99-cent app.
I heard that on the video.
Yeah.
Mine was free, I think.
Do you have the iPhone or do you have an Android?
No, I have a real phone.
Oh, okay. So for you guys with your real phones, you can probably find one for free.
Okay, so
You got Droid, Evan?
I'll go under conversion.
LG, you said?
Hold on, my Grokking calculator?
Go to your plan leg.
What was the name of it? I did, I'm on the same line, I'll see it, I did it yesterday.
Alright, so
Paper airplane says E6B.
I got
The
minus true
E6B one?
airspeed.
No.
Maybe I didn't download
We don't need.
if you pull down and do your search, you can.
Recently downloaded that.
So would of course be your average heading?
Yes.
Okay, plan leg.
So
The
you-
only thing is, see, mine
Huh?
asks for runway.
Light rating.
I don't know if you're doing that or not.
Well, we only need course, true airspeed, wind direction, and wind speed.
Sounds good.
True airspeed, we put 400.
Yep. So that's what we'll always use for our average.
Okay, no.
I don't know what
True
mine
course
has
heading
for.
is 274.
Yeah, so our true course. Okay. This is our wind direction. And then this is our speed right here. No, wind direction is 235.
235.
So mine asks for a runway, which I already picked my runway out, but, so I don't even know if mine's,
Oh.
if this is right. Cause I'm gonna use 34.
I think we used one.
It's always gonna be something.
What one did we use the other day?
Yeah.
I thought it was mine.
What ground speed? And we put
This is one that you just used?
That's
Oh, no.
true.
So it's,
oh, ground speed.
if you click wind, don't do the extra.
Right.
Close. Not affected, there's no wind.
Yeah.
It's actually that speed, ground speed, 269 heading.
True air
Wind
speed.
speed angle.
Yeah.
269 is definitely wind direction.
And then,
Yeah, so
I don't know which.
that's how you
one
get your
it
heading,
is.
because our course is
Are we looking for
Four.
the heading?
at the negative 5 angle, you get 269.
So for the wind, we really do 269 instead of 264. Right.
Yes.
I'll put my notes.
We're trying to go.
What are we using for runway? Just
Oh.
whatever.
No, I picked,
Can't
you have
use
to
that
go to
because-
your run, you have to go to Airport City, get your run.
Yeah, that's not
Are we looking for our wind?
oh, it was under speed.
No, correct.
Speed, ground speed. So our distance was 373, right? Let's see if this is the one, 373.
Mm-mm.
No.
I looked for it.
Oh, required. Here we go. This is it. Okay. Required,
Celsius.
and then you go down to
That's negative 62.
true air
Yeah.
speed. Okay, wind direction.
Yeah. You're 39,000.
235.
Oh.
Quarters?
Yeah. So for this,
Or
it's like
just
a long
T-shirt.
meeting.
Shorts and t-shirt weather.
T-shirt weather. 39,000 feet.
So are you using
You know
2.5
what's
or
weird is in
2.6?
the Airbus,
All those two.
I heard that once it hits 37,000.
So the course is
The
your
ground
Yeah.
speed is
274.
not,
That's what I heard, but I don't know how they do
Then your
that.
true air speed is
That's what they
400.
compute in
And
there.
then your wind direction.
It gets warmer.
But they're saying that.
So you just need to
on my runway,
Yeah.
There you
let me
go.
look.
It's our average
So that
heading.
you can connect
For that torch. No, you can't do that.
Short speed, but
Oh,
I doubt it.
Is that gives
So-
us a negative
I
5?
think I'm
Not
using,
39,
Yeah.
it's close to
Change in
the sun.
heading.
I might be using 30,
You actually
it's either
69.
34 left or
That's
16
basically
right.
33, right?
And I don't know if I'm using it
So
because
if we went
it's
down
the
that
longest
distance, we
runway
put the
yet.
373, 'cause that's- That's
No way.
110% of what it says in Sky Vector.
I like setting alarms, I remember to go.
So it's what-
I don't.
Yeah,
But the
373.
340 or what they call it?
373.
No, but what are we looking for?
So you're just going extra here. Okay, for our simplified flight plan, what did we need?
Oh, yeah.
We needed,
altitude and wind.
we needed our wind direction, our average winds, and our average heading, right? We needed, okay. We needed to know our average winds, basically. How much of a headwind do we have?
Minus.
Headwind or tailwind?
Stupid thing.
I don't have a heaven. but
This thing
Minus 5
sucks.
correction angles, that would be one.
Is the headwind the correction angle?
No. We're good.
Didn't we have the same heaven?
He's got it here. Yeah, that might be your other,
Keeps jamming up.
your ground speed calculator.
The wind's coming from 235
I don't know if I got it.
from this way, so we have a headwind. We're going this way, the wind's coming this way.
Like, you
Oh, wait,
definitely.
So we got a headwind
Yeah,
now.
slower.
353.
Fine.
But yeah, but it doesn't say on the.
No, that's just adjusting our course. We've got another app that we were using.
We haven't selected the runway yet. have we?
No, so for our runway, we're just gonna use this course here. So it would be like 2.7.
Well, it has the thing there that says wind direction and speed calculation.
Yeah, wind direction, speed calculation,
Okay, so put in our new heading.
maybe.
Because that should do the wind direction and speed.
We're giving
But I mean, we have, we
good for
already have the wind direction and speed.
amateur.
So we gotta figure out our winds.
So,
I'm trying to
I
remember
think
what
it's
app we
15.
were using at this point.
so I got heading and ground speed, plugged all that in, but I don't know what my headwind and tailwind is.
Right, that's what we're trying to figure out here. What are you using here?
This is the, we used yesterday, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But I don't know how many people used 50.
You guys think they're like, oh,
So you get on the free app. Hold on.
we already know our wind direction.
Oh, I can see, I have a separate,
So,
cross.
I gotta look at my,
Like I'm following along, yeah, I don't know who you are.
I have 15, but I don't know if that's right.
15 months.
Headwind, but I don't know if it's right.
Do we need?
we need our headwind and tailwind. Do we have a headwind or a tailwind and how fast is it?
Well, we have a headwind.
It's a little slower.
Okay, we've got a headwind, but what's the speed? That's what it is, okay.
Yeah, basically a chart line.
We can just stay on
Don't we use the chart?
Oh, yeah, you
Is that
can
right?
set chart.
I'm
Good, good.
that.
Look at those numbers. I just remember you about.
Yeah, so
But we need-
all we're gonna do is we're gonna take, what was the speed that it gave you? Everybody, what was the speed that it gave you?
400 knots.
Or what's the
Ground
Ground
speed.
speed.
353.
353, okay.
Ground speed, yeah.
Oh.
That gives us our headwind.
Oh.
Yeah, I just said 47. Okay.
Sorry,
Sorry,
we get to use these apps in the.
P6Bs
Mine
are
was
allowed.
ground speed.
True airspeed.
Gives us our one.
So, how many out
The
here?
400 that we always
Okay.
use.
So,
Mine's
simplified
ground speed,
for
gives us-
distance.
Or-
Okay, so for your simplified flight plan, just go to your, that one.
So true airspeed minus
So-
ground speed.
That's a strong number.
Course.
Last year isn't that strong.
Is that, Malcolm on those? The wind speed?
Oh, that's knots. Yeah, 47 knot headwind. So we figure out, so we're using 400 as our true airspeed. So 400, whenever we're doing simplified flight planning, we always use 400.
Would that be a negative 47?
Yes.
So 400.
It would be.
Wait, negative 47?
Well, 47 because, he said negative 47, so that's how you'd read it, like on her calculator or whatever. Because negative means it's slowing us down, right? That's a headwind.
So a negative in this point would be headwind and a positive would be tailwind because you're keeping
Yeah.
the speed.
So you take your true airspeed, and then you subtract. your-
So it should actually be 400 minus 47 equals 353.
Yeah.
To show that.
So that gives us our headwind.
Or we
or
can
tailwind,
just be,
Depending.
like, just think about it. I used 400 knots as my speed to get my wind calculation, and I saw that it was slowing me down 47 knots, so that's a headwind. If it was pushing me along and my ground speed all of a sudden was 447, then we know that's a tailwind, right?
I'm so glad you said it like that, cause it just like,
Yeah.
there it was right there. Okay. Cool,
So if
got
it's
it.
greater than our speed, our true air speed, we know it's a tailwind. If it's less than our true air speed, we know that that's a headwind.
That makes sense.
So now that you have 235, well, the numbers are way different.
294.
The numbers are way different. So your course was, oh, okay, that's fine, okay.
Yeah, I
So-
didn't put that in there.
So your courses, you're gonna use your average heading. So this is your course. For our true airspeed, for our simplified, we're gonna use 400 knots. Okay. And then our wind direction, we've got 235 and 58.
So yeah, this is actually cool. Like if someone's doing their own flight plan, everything,
Yeah.
and how much fuel per hour you use, it tells you how much fuel you need. It's like if you want to drill a little plane, you can totally.
So heading is 269. That's what our heading would, what we would fly, but what's important is our ground speed. If we take our true airspeed and we take away our ground speed, that's what our headwind or tailwind will be.
Yeah, this has your converter in it too.
Yeah. Your converter for the,
For knots, miles, kilometers, or Celsius to Fahrenheit.
oh yeah. That is pretty nice.
They have that on your iPhone?
I've got it on my flight computer. I'm sure there's an app for that.
I have a brother who's a Mac Kool-Aid drinker.
I am very much so
Matt Kool-Aid
nowadays.
drinker?
As you can see, I've got my
That's how awesome
iMac,
Apple
I've
is.
got my iPad, and I got my iPhone right there.
Isn't that
Well-
a Mac in front of you?
Yes, it is.
It's okay.
It is. So, and I can concede, so, I used to export PCs a long time ago. Last 3 years, the company I work for uses only Apple for everything. So I've used everything side by side. Mac hardware runs better, I can see that, that's why I'm on. But the interface on PCs and Droids, I think is much better.
Oh, that's on.
If you use the customizability of an Android, if that's something that you actually use, or you just want to keep it simple, that's which way you go. If you enjoy it being easy to use, Apple,
That's-
and it runs smoother and faster.
That always
If you
fascinates
like the complex nature of Android and PC, where you can just like tune it however you want. But I think that's why Mac runs so much smoother, is because you go in there and you start jacking the settings you don't know that you're doing. People get lost really quick, and all of a sudden their computer runs like crap.
Well, they also didn't open up their code to everybody like Windows did.
Right.
So really, to see which one was better, they'd have to do that
Right.
and see how many viruses came up with that.
Yep. But I like that you don't let anybody play with stuff.
But Apple does a great job. I mean, you can,
Yeah.
your texts communicate over all platforms and everything.
Yep. I like it. Okay.
So just one quick question.
Yes.
So you said, so with that average heading at 274, you said we'd be using runway 27?
So yeah, if you were to plan that if you were to see that as a runway, it would be runway 27.
Okay, there's
'Cause
not
that's
one,
how
but there's
those-
a 26 and a 25, I was just,
Well, we're not really planning runways right now. So,
okay.
what?
I was just saying, it kind of bugs me how the McCarran Airport changed from 2.5 left and right to 2.6 left and right.
Right.
I don't like that.
It's supposed to do something on the charts. I don't know what. Okay. My brain's already melted.
You need to eat dinner.
I know. It is dinner time.
Takeout?
Yeah, does somebody want to do takeout?
I swear I saw something from my hotel, like something, and they have like a list of restaurants and they deliver. What's it called? It wasn't Bite Squad or whatever. It wasn't down either. It was like something I never heard of. But they delivered from some
You do,
Mad Greek or Fat Greek or something Greek. Or your Mad Pita. And a whole bunch of other ones.
I'm good with anything. I'll throw in. So somebody make the executive decision. I did pizza yesterday, so somebody make the executive decision. Right? I'll drop some dough.
well, what would be easy, what's easy to do in bulk though? Pizza.
Or.
Sandwiches.
All for the cost.
Sauerkraut
Oh,
sandwiches.
yeah.
We could do a Costco run.
Costco pizza is delicious. For $10.
Do you have to have a membership? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it open? I'll go to Costco, I got a membership.
I have a membership, I don't know where it's at.
I think they're open till 8:30.
Yeah.
Yes, it's open till 9:30.
Is there food court open?
Yep. Yeah.
I'll
Closed a little early.
Only got a magic box.
Somebody want to do a run?
Sure, I'll go.
All right.
Okay, Google,
Google.
how late is Costco food court open?
Costco food court is open until 8:30 p.m.
Jordan
There
with
you
the
go.
win.
On my Costco,
That's what Jordan and Costco.
I live close to them, so I'm still there.
I would too.
They have cheese, pepperoni, and supreme.
I always go there for the cheese.
Dude, yeah, their pizza's good.
They also got like chicken bakes that are really good. You guys got
Ice cream.
Costco.
We have a Costco that they change,
Those,
Yeah.
the things that
No,
they
like the
offer.
actual like berry
Oh,
ice cream things.
Poke bowls.
I wish they had poke bowl.
Strawberry
Poke bowl.
Get that a lot.
Got spam and eggs.
Went up.
Spam
Used
sushi.
to be $1.25.
Yeah, they changed the flavorings. It's all natural.
Did you?
What is it?
Their stuff. If it's organic, it's twice as much.
They sampled them the other day. I tasted
Not yet,
them.
'cause we're not there
It's,
yet.
I thought.
No, they taste like frown.
No,
They're good.
Yeah, that's
Pissed me
what I
off
thought.
so bad.
I
Like
tasted
a
it, I was
crab
like, this isn't
is-
good at all.
That was my favorite thing. All growing up.
That's funny, 'cause I hated the previous
Yeah,
one.
that's
I liked
great.
it.
I didn't taste the previous
I like
one, but they
Superstar.
sampled this one. I was like, what is
Yeah.
this dirt?
I was just like,
So what
As-
we do
no.
is.
my
so
wife's like, I got you a
Worse.
fruit
He said
smoothie.
we're
I'm
not
like,
there.
yes. Oh.
No.
Throw it in.
But the numbers
Yeah,
that
child.
we are.
Raise your hand for cheese? No, cheese.
Tenture.
Everybody got cheese. Everybody
Cheese,
wants.
pepperoni, or
They also got
supreme?
like chicken bakes. They've got
Pepperoni.
chicken or turkey and provolone sandwiches.
You'll have to call anyway.
You have to call it in.
Order, right?
Yeah.
If you call ahead, it'll be faster, for sure.
Yeah.
I picked up the
Combo.
Combo, yeah, combo.
either one.
Everybody go with combo?
Combo.
Pick off what you don't want? Sweet.
There you go.
How many of this would people? 10 of us?
10.
I think 2 will be fine.
It was combo and what?
Pepperoni or cheese?
Combo and
One
cheese.
slice.
Combo and
No
pepperoni.
pineapple, Garrett. You have to bring your own pineapple.
They don't have pineapple.
I just take the
Oh,
water.
mushrooms.
Not unless you're eating there. I think. Maybe
I
sounds
hit a
close.
brick wall. I'm tired right now.
So 2 Supremes?
So I got rid of the 2 apps that don't work.
Do you have Venmo?
What's that?
Do you have Venmo?
What's that?
Does
Oh.
anybody know? No.
Everybody download Venmo right now, you won't regret it. It changed my life. It's like when I got online
It's a
banking.
banking.
Oh, my life
It's,
changed.
like
From my
It's like a social media type banking. So you can just transfer money to.
To whoever you want. And it goes to your bank account. and
Girl, for
it's
you old
inside
people,
one.
it's PayPal.
Well, no, it's linked to PayPal.
Yeah, but it's so much
It's like
smoother.
$10.
Send and receive money.
What was that?
My wife says.
And then you have to have S15 because it's.
You get a
Full points,
Facebook.
John, full points.
You do a Facebook pay.
What? You can, yeah.
You can do a Snapchat.
Yeah, Facebook has it now.
Snap.
Really?
Yeah, I don't do those.
No,
things.
I do
But
Facebook.
you can.
I don't even know how to use
Facebook.
Apple Pay.
near it.
Yeah. Apple Pay, you can just like go up to somebody, and transfer money.
Google Pay, Google Wallet.
Someone said, I don't put my credit card in the system.
I don't have it.
Alrighty, I guess I'll run down to the car and get some money.
I don't like it.
So,
I mean, it's gonna be $20 for how many of us, 2, 4, 6, 8, that's $2 apiece,
yeah,
nothing.
Yeah, like I said, it's $2.
Garrett paying me 10.
Yeah.
For us.
so y'all can just,
That way you guys will be copies of your notes, I'm just saying.
Check a little
Yeah,
later.
It's easy to work out. It's a new payment I call, it's a tutor.
you don't wanna see what's inside my brain. It's scattered all over. My notes. Sure.
Does that mean I'm going while you guys are still studying? Or
No,
are we doing a quick
we'll do a
break?
break.
Everyone go?
So we wanna grab some drinks?
Or if everyone
I wanna
wants to
go to
go.
church.
I gotta go with Corey, hold on a second.
I'll
I'm trying to find,
You got a thing of drinks that everybody's like? Like 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like sometimes they have those, like little Gatorades or multiple. Oh, yeah.
If I run to my house around
What about
what time should I eat?
Right now.
Half an hour?
Yeah, let's just call it a half hour.
Otherwise, I can't call someone text me.
Half an hour is good.
Okay. I should feel bad, I don't get
No.
to see my baby all day, like I see her in the morning and I.
I have a club member.
So let's-
So they all look at me.
Everybody do your Simplified.
Okay. Everyone was asked. Everyone was asked to do it.
You know, that's my Simplified.
My logo on my workout says arrows. Is it simplified?
Do we need our landing weight also
Yeah.
for that chart?
For the Simplified, no. No, the
This is Simplified.
spaghetti chart.
Oh,
So we're gonna take our distance, I think our altitude and our head. Well, we're gonna, guesstimate, oh, I also wanted to do the route. In case you need, you know,
I don't think we're increasing their
Oh, yeah.
the ORs. Rocky.
Gotcha. I'll have to fill that in. Here.
So you have to have Cameron and,
I get that. That's the two we did in between Salt Lake and Denver, man.
or Denver and Salt.
So once we're at the reference line and we have our -47 headwind,
You follow the
we follow the
contour.
curvy line.
Yeah, follow the contour. So with the headwind, we're gonna follow it this way. And we're gonna, what is it, 372 miles is our,
Yeah, 374.
or 374. So we come over here 2 dots, and halfway between those 2 dots. So we follow that up to our reference line straight up. And then we follow the curved line to our 47 knots. Then from our 47 knots, we go to our flight level. And then from our flight level, we can go straight up to our flight level up here and then peak out. Or we can go over to here.
What does the very bottom line say? I know it says and above, but what's the flight level?
370.
Is it 370?
Okay.
So that's one we go through.
So 37, 35, 33, 31, 29, 27.
Just so I heard correctly, because I was a little lost. So based off your trip distance, which we got.
374 miles.
Oh, yeah.
So we go up to 374 miles,
Yeah, and then we go,
right here.
yeah.
Go up to the reference line, straight up to the reference line. Follow the contour of the curved line. Since you can see here on the side, it says headwind, and then it says tailwind. Follow the headwind to 47 knots, which is about right here. Follow that straight up to our flight level, which shows 380, right? So follow it up to the 370 and above line. From here, we'll follow it straight over to the reference line here for our landing weight. Okay, follow to that reference line, straight to it, okay? From this reference line, oh, we do need our landing weight. So, what is our landing weight? Anybody have that?
So our landing weight,
That's
so
what
if we
it's
use,
the takeoff weight minus the.
Minus the burn.
so minus take off that minus the burn.
Yeah.
So we use 33 pounds, so 3,700.
No, it's like 60,000 plus, just like 60 something.
Okay, 60,000.
Yeah.
So if it's
Around that,
60,000,
right?
we can just stay
Oh,
on,
definitely. Sorry.
we can just stay there, right? Because we're not less than and we're not greater than. We're equal to 60,000 pounds, right? So we can just follow that straight over to the side here. What does that give us for our trip fuel in pounds?
36.
3,600.
About 3,600.
So if we already figured out our.
Maybe just a humble.
If we already figured out our.
You see what you were doing for these again? It was 2.
How quickly graph, I can't even, it's the same thing.
There's no way
Oh, yeah. It's more accurate. So this is taking into account our winds and our altitude to get us up here.
Okay.
The estimated is just like to get us in the ballpark so we can do our weight balance.
Oh.
But the Simplified takes into account our winds and our altitude. Okay?
And when we do the winds, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Keep going.
So 374, follow it up to here, follow it over to our 47 knot headwind, and then we can take it straight up to here. We're flight level 370 and above, so we can just tee it off right there. That gives us our trip time in minutes and hours.
373 on the bottom, 47 on the left, right?
Is that you, Adam? Adam? Sounds like Adam's trying to join us.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 373, negative 47, right?
Yep, so we're going,
And they cross right up there on that curve, right by the corner, yeah.
yep, so 374,
Mhm.
come up to our reference line, and then follow the contour of the curved line.
Okay, so
374,
Oh, okay.
then go up to the reference
up to the reference line, straight up.
And
Then
so then,
follow the contour to 47 knots.
Okay,
yeah, I just right there. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense now.
Okay.
I didn't hear what the,
Okay, so there, then go up to the reference line,
And
follow
that
it.
helps.
oh, I'm
Follow
better.
the contour and then go straight up to our flight level 370 and above. Then from our flight
And
level
he's saying
370 and
going
above,
380.
we come straight over to this reference line right here, right?
So it's gonna be right up there. Okay. Go straight up from there.
You get it right here?
We end up about right here. Okay. On our reference line, look at the width, 60,000 pounds. 60,000
Yeah, they're really
pounds, we
hard
can
to
just stay on our reference
What
line
number
and
is
take that over.
It says 370 and above.
Okay,
Okay, so that's
That's
us.
what we want to be.
Okay, so
37,
right here.
37.50 for our fuel, or
So that one right there.
And over here, so like I got everything you're
This,
saying,
these
but
ones I'm not,
so-
you know,
350, 370, so I go up to the reference.
because we got, I got one.
I already know
Stay
where
at
to stop.
36.
In order to.
So that's almost 100.
Oh, it's
37, 32.
50
Okay,
knots.
it's like one person.
No,
So
not
we
the
have-
same.
47 knot headwind.
So you would go on this, you go like.
I was like, I know we have it,
this.
I talked about it for a while.
So each one of these dots, look, each one of these
From that
dots.
same
is
point?
that. So 10, 20, 30, 40. And then we're almost to 50, so we be like right under that.
Oh, okay, which would be.
And all we're doing is like this line, this number is
Whether or not you then you would go.
That's
Right when you hit, right when you hit the
I did like 1 hour.
heaven speed.
So I said 36, and he's like,
okay, I got it.
That's not really an hour and 10.
So once you get that heaven speed, go
No,
up,
it's like,
so you get
I was
this
running
line.
R10 because 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So you go straight up to the reference line,
Is right
top
between
line
it, so
was
it's
370.
Okay?
But I don't know if that really.
The top.
I'm just going by minutes.
Oh,
I think it's 1 hour and
Then you had to tee it off.
I'll have to ask him, because that's where I get confused.
Garrett at the top, on either side, that's just two different ways of saying the same thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So
And
this
then
is our
hours.
time in minutes, this is our time with hours.
But is that our real time?
That's our simplified time, yeah.
So, do we really need to do that? Because it's like the same, you know what I mean? Like, our estimated fuel originally was 37.33, and we're finding that we're at like 37.
So we're at.
Okay, this flight is super, super
Something
short,
like that, yeah.
but probably gonna be that way.
Okay, so the longer
When
flights.
you go like, yeah,
Yeah.
800 miles, 900 miles,
Because it was 47.
like that might be
We
a
follow
400-pound difference.
Lines go over.
Because I was like,
And then you go.
I don't get
Yeah.
why we're doing it. I get how to do it, I just didn't get why. It seems less accurate, you're trying to follow these little tiny lines, and then you're just kind of estimating which dot you think you're at.
Right. So
Yeah, I don't know. I see earlier I got 35, they're getting 30.
it's not as big of a deal with the shorter flights.
Oh.
Are we gonna be doing a longer flight coming up? Like, pretty
Yeah.
soon? Okay.
you said our flight level was
Almost
380.
40
What you guys plan?
47 knots. You might be right up there, so.
So 380 around this would be.
Is
But
that
you have to go to
zero?
the reference line.
Yeah, I can't.
Right, but that's your winds right there. The reference, see that zero, and then the winds are 46, see that's 47.
It's just 380 this line right here.
Follow the line. You can't go straight up.
380 this line, because I can't read what this is.
So you gotta go up until you strike 47. Switch over here.
370.
So you go up
Okay, so it would be this line stuff.
over to the reference and then you go.
Doesn't matter how we write our estimated time in minutes or hours, it's our choice.
It's basically 6,000.
Because when you tee it off, they're both the same.
Yeah, I think that's really right.
So on our IFR flight plan, we'll be calculating minutes. We'll convert it to hours.
I got 35, but I don't, they got 36.
It's very not exactly.
Yeah. I'd say-
Yeah. So they did one.
So that's your trip fuel.
Yeah, yeah.
Where are they writing this in?
What do you say? Yes, it's a.
You also go straight up.
So after we figure out our fuels or what do we put to that, like, do we label it as more accurate fuel burn, or I forgot what we put it.
Simplified.
Simplified fuel burn?
Yeah, and trip time.
Is that one of these forms we're recording this in, or
Left
just
and
our
right
notes
now, different.
in the back?
So left and right.
Just our notes. For now. So what do we do with our simplified fuel? You guys remember?
Determine
Typically.
plan.
So we're gonna quickly just plug that into our weight and balance, just to make sure that we're staying in our CG. This is pretty close, right? Would it make sense to waste time on it?
What's on the left?
We're close enough.
If it's like, only when it's like a significant difference on long flights, you wanna do that?
That's what you get for the fuel.
What did everybody get for the fuel?
37.50.
37.50?
36.
That's right.
The time, so and the time.
Oh,
36. You said
37.
37.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you get for the time? The time I wanna say was like
It's like an hour, 15 minutes.
Yeah, an
Or
hour,
70 minutes.
hour 5, 10 minutes.
Okay, okay, you said so straight from the crossing line to straight on over to the graph.
notch
You're
or
going right into what?
105.
Yeah, we'll call it 105.
370. Only 5 minutes.
So about 65 minutes, right? So 65 minutes and like 3,800 pounds. What was our plan, our estimated fuel? Like 3733?
3733.
We'll just call it easy. Okay,
So what are we gonna even it to, 37?
3738, whatever you guys want to do, either way.
What would I label this one? Simplified time or simplified ETA?
100 pounds of fuel is the equivalent of like 2 minutes.
So it really doesn't
It
matter.
really doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll do 37.
And we're gonna find out the actual, this is just to get us closer so that when we do our IFR flight plan, we're good to go.
So when we do this on the practical, it's gonna be okay if we just,
For the ballpark.
If it doesn't make sense, like if you get in here, and, I mean, this honestly takes like 30 seconds, right? Go over your distance, come up to your reference line, adjust for speed, go up to your right. You're like, it comes out just about sixes, then don't go through and redo your weight and balance, stuff like that. But if it's like,
Oh, nailed it. That didn't work.
yeah, so if it's like, if it's a negligible difference, don't worry about it. But if it's something that you're just like, okay, that's like 200 or 300 pounds different. Or even like
300 pounds of fuel sounds like a lot.
300 or 400 pounds of fuel, you know, that's,
Actually, it'll burn in an instant.
yeah, it goes
It
3
just
pounds.
sounds like
It is a lot in a car.
Like sometimes,
Yes.
sometimes if I'm refueling an aircraft, I'll stop, let it adjust, and then by the time I'm done, putting everything back in the truck, in order to burn out 200 pounds of fuel, or sorry, 100 like pounds of fuel.
Well, this
It's just
settles.
sitting there with the APU running.
So what, yeah. Is fuel like taxiing fuel, where the engines are basically at idle, just barely above? We burn 250 pounds in 15 minutes, right? That's what we do calibrate for. So fuel, just for, you know, just for gee golly, whatever. Fuel's about 8.5 pounds, or 8.5 pounds per gallon.
Didn't you say it was 6? I think I wrote it down here.
Yeah. I don't know what Alex said. That's what we counted for when we were,
What is it?
172. That's 100 low lead.
Oh, I was about to say, isn't it 6.7 pounds per gallon for jet?
So Jet A is probably lighter. So that's what I'm used to seeing like 8.5 pounds. So there you go. Jet A, I'll take it from a fueler. 6.7.
Well, because that is correct. That,
Yeah, I have 6.
on winter days, it's 6.8, on summer days, it's 6.7.
There you go.
Hey.
So figure out how many gallons that is.
Yeah, the way I do it is like.
That means it's
say
so
if I
good.
put 3,000 bucks of fuel tomorrow.
Oh my
it's gonna be
gosh,
like
it's so
50 gallons.
Can't fill the cheese up into their slice.
That's right. That's sin.
That's sin.
I don't know.
That's what I do.
Helpful or not.
You're like, oops, guess I'll just flop that on my pizza.
I guess that's.
People at work do that. You buy a cinnamon bagel, you know, and they'll take the top and they'll leave the bottom. Nobody wants the bottom of a regular bagel.
Right. It's like, I'll kill you. Them's is fighting words. Sorry.
The camera took us 7.
That's
So-
recording too,
Easier.
I like that, it's recording too.
Yep.
Pizza makes
Hi,
living
world.
better.
That's right. Okay. Now, after we've done our simplified, what's our next step?
The top of line,
Let's go figure out our top climb.
I don't like doing that.
And then after we figure out our top climb, what are we gonna do after that?
Double the tip.
Yeah. And then what do we do? In or out? So we put it all onto our flight plan, right?
And then you break it up to when you're gonna descend and stick.
So that being said, you guys figured out your ISA at takeoff at the departure airport, right? Your ISA deviation. So what's our ISA deviation at Salt Lake? So we have our destination and our departure airport. ISA deviation at Salt Lake at our destination airport.
I'm going to Skyvector to get the elevation of Salt Lake right now.
Oh.
We'll have to use a map for that in the practical.
And how do you figure the?
They'll give you the Jefferson chart.
Okay.
I'm sorry, so what's your next step? You're wanting us to figure out the top of climate?
Okay. Yeah, you can either figure out the top of climb, or you can jump over to figuring out your ISA deviation at Salt Lake, so that you have both of them and you can go from top of climb to top of descent. It's a crossroad, a fork in the road, and you choose which way to go. Oh, you're already gone, Bull?
I already figured it out.
Okay, then don't worry about the other one, just figure out your top of climb.
When you say figure top of climb, just meaning like on the flight plan, right?
Yep, do your performance chart, your climbing performance chart.
It's this one.
Oh, man.
It'll give, I think it gives, does it give you the top of climb?
Yeah, so
Yeah, it'll give you the
the
mileage.
distance, yeah.
Oh, so you have to base that off.
Your,
This is
no,
in
your takeoff weight and your ISA deviation, right? And what altitude you're flying to.
So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to figure out the top of climb and then see what that has. I don't know what the weight, we're between 64 and 66 with our weight.
Yeah.
And I think he said
38.
38. Okay. So
So
you take the
it's
bodies.
gonna be halfway between 39 and 37, and halfway between 64 and 66.
Oh, this flight plan's mean.
Oh, yeah.
So we're looking for plus,
Oh, wait, no, I'm on the takeoff. I'm on my.
And you just keep going.
So what was your ISA deviation at Denver?
15 degrees Celsius.
14.
ISA plus 14.
Plus, ISA plus 14, so we're gonna use the ISA plus 15 chart, right?
The weight, chart is.
And our climb, right?
Whatever ISA plus 15 chart.
ISA plus 15 on our climb.
I think it was.
Salt Lake, ISA.
We're trying to figure out our top of climb.
Not trying to do it. Let me know when you get it done.
So you go to our 15 chart. And then, you go off of our takeoff weight. Or sorry, you would go off of our, no, this is gonna go flight. Yeah. 380.
And flight level.
So we're using grade, so we're between
0.
air.
Right, dead even.
Yep, and then we're right in here, so I think it's these 4 boxes.
What you
This
got?
might be a dumb
0.
No,
question, but I was just looking at it.
So right
So
here,
using
it's
this where you're going,
right?
those are
Okay, so then on the.
So we're between 64 and 66 pounds, so you have to average the 4 boxes.
So it just goes from
Like, so we're looking
3
for our
hours down
time,
to 2 hours.
our distance, our
Your
fuel.
Your latest METAR will always be.
Oh, it's generating.
Oh, what does TAS mean?
True airspeed.
True airspeed. I know.
Yeah.
You're good,
Yeah.
no problem.
So you're averaging.
That's why I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, and then you know what, and I heard you can average the high and low, I don't know if you wanna do that or average all 4. Like in the 4 boxes, I heard you can average the high and low, but, or you can average all.
High and low's the
19.
fastest one.
I am, so we're the first one.
You can take the high end and the low end and average it.
Time.
And you get 9, right?
Time you can take, and I can't, so you can take 28 the high time, and let's see, and you can take the low time, so 28 plus whatever plus that, and then divide it by 2, average. This is what we're doing right now. Mine is wrong, so I have to listen to it, because I use my 340. We're getting our distance and our true airspeed. And what we're gonna do with that is we're gonna be able to start filling in those boxes. Just to, we'll be able to start filling in our boxes. So we're gonna do our departure here, and hopefully we can, because that's where I need right now.
Okay.
When it comes to climb and descent,
Mark and Alice, you don't matter.
So the
we don't ever
temperature
turn
has
out
to be
rate of climb or mod.
You know what, I did get that.
So we don't do the,
But I did.
All in the 14.
Gotcha.
So the older ones are at the bottom.
Okay.
So.
So they just add to the top for weather.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
your weather will always generate the
Yeah.
latest weather on top.
Half to the opposite.
I think
No, because remember, they only issue out the tap 4 times a day, right?
Okay.
So your latest tap will always jump up on top. Now, no, don't get that confused with forecasting in the future. So your tap may be 1 line, it may be 5 lines, 6 lines. Those are in chronological order, but your tap, the newest tap will always generate on top.
Okay, so our
one's at
ETA
first
is 2136, but the newest time we have is 1904. That's just as accurate as we're gonna get. Would we pull like a super accurate current weather temperature?
Oh, not until the next one.
So we
Yeah,
just we use the
Okay.
latest research.
So it'll be 13 degrees.
I know that this, like, was correct, this and this has the difference of 2.3, so I would have to.
It's 6.6.
No,
Okay.
I need to find averages.
Outside there.
Then.
Within this, I would have to go in the middle of 1 point.
Dude, don't confuse yourself.
13.
You know how to find averages, right?
Yeah.
Add the 2 divided by 2.
Add the 2. Oh, I was just gonna do regular, adding it together.
So if you just do a subtraction, then you've got to find the difference,
10.
or you got to find the center of the 2.
Oh, okay.
So that's way too confusing.
So it's
Add them up,
two divided and divide.
So when you're finding averages, you always add each, it could be 6, right?
Okay.
6 different numbers. Add them all up, and then you divide it by the number of how many you add them.
Okay.
So I.
So what'd you get?
Is it outside of average or minus ISO?
Okay.
Always?
These are
or
my
is
new
it-
ones.
New ones.
Well, depending on
Yeah.
how you-
Because I had,
No, it should be
So,
isolated, or outside air temperature minus.
So my outside air temperature
Line
is
chart.
13 degrees.
Yeah, I got too many.
And my ice is -6, so if I minus -6, so I'm adding it, so it'd be 19. Does that make sense?
It's like that card game where you flip all your cards over.
13 minus -6. So,
Okay.
that's 20.
I know that we so, and they could be a little off, so what I got was
6 degrees.
26.1,
It shouldn't be negative.
I got
So we have Salt Lake
Two,
elevation
4,
should be
5,
9,
8, 5.
9 minus 15.
Which is probably 0.5, right?
is
Fifteen minus.
But I got 169.
minus
I got it.
So I have 16.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
do the
So what
elevation
do you wanna
times
do
2
next?
minus 15.
Did you wanna do the same thing? You wanna get your ISA in Salt Lake?
Yeah, I'm
Should
sorry.
my ISA always be positive?
Your ISA, no,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm trying to find,
Are you looking for your average?
like, in my brain, I just.
Do you want
like,
this
So first,
chart?
better right here.
Oh, we have to average.
Okay,
That's the same one, right?
Field elevation should be
Yeah.
minus 2, so 4,500,
Yeah, you're
so it'd be
doing
9.
your Salt Lake. So you wanna do more
So-
Salt Lake and one
Right, so,
Right.
So your
I'm in Salt Lake right now. Elevation, ISO 7, so I'm at 6, we're going to ISO 10.
our takeoff.
Okay, so
And then, which, there's 4 of these are green, and the 2 that we aren't. So on.
Right, so bring up, so you're bringing 380.
So this guy right here is
Yeah.
what
You want
65.
distance,
Standard.
fuel, and,
Minus
Deviation, which is
Right.
Yeah, okay, so I got.
So I'm just gonna take these 4 boxes,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna
So if I
do
do
the average of all the work.
positive 10.
or you can average the highest of all.
Oh, really?
So you always wanna go more.
Okay, so this graph is basically is,
So-
If you don't wanna do
Right,
it.
okay,
so-
But let's say it's
that'll make a big difference on the answer.
So what you do is,
like some people
so
start.
we know that we're going to ISO 380.
I get 12, I go to.
So you have to have your,
We're taking off
yes, you need your elevation.
So get this right.
Warmer temperature, penalizes.
And I've got my elevations. So basically, you're taking out 64,000 pounds.
Yep.
And you're
Right.
at 380, so you're going 64,000 down to 380, and you have to interpolate.
And then
So you would.
See, and I don't know if
outside of
you
the
might-
use this one.
I just-
You got, you got mod.
Either when I say it for,
At the time,
you
we'll say
want to
it's
do
block,
4 to
say
negative
it's
10.
zero. And
I don't know
then
how
divide
much.
those two.
So your ISA deviation
And
is
that's
still
what you get.
technically
Time, distance.
a positive
And I don't know why
seven.
to do this.
ISA
So
press
you
7.
take
Right.
But we
4
were talking.
or 4, 5.
Yes,
We're using it
the
on
times
support
how
too.
much?
They're
Alright,
only
so
at 5.
Got a
add.
influence of 5, so subtract it
So-
from 15
Yeah.
to 7.
Oh, no.
Add 3.6
So-
and 26.
Interpolated my top of fund numbers.
Mhm.
So now do I do the same stuff?
But you're at your
Plus 7 on ISA.
So we are doing, so you
Exactly.
take your
Well, make-
temperature and
temperature.
Salt Lake, which is 13.
You've already.
Salt Lake.
Yeah, we were down there.
You're,
You're on your way.
this
13
is based
degrees.
off of your.
So, I just put
I don't
it
know,
as
that's
chart 0405.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not the right.
Yeah, no problem.
like,
What's going up here?
It's going good, we're figuring out
That's
the
a
Salt
better-
Lake prices, so we can do that.
These are way from.
Great, or
I think so.
he's doing his,
Okay.
So you get a minus.
I'll let you know in 1 second.
and so I take 13 minus 7 and I got 6.
Well, you know, I think Ivan's really smart.
I'm not, I'm really not.
No, you are smart.
No, I just spent.
Yeah.
You gotta show that to people how to do it, and it teaches you how to do it
I
better.
spent way too much time looking at this stuff.
So you can take.
That's not a problem. That's actually a good thing.
And then
No,
add.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's really not.
Yes, it
Divide
is.
that by 2.
Good job, you're right.
Okay, so.
Fine.
So then what you do is. go
So we won't be here.
That's how long
Salt
it'll
Lake.
take.
you're
Right.
doing
Now.
ice
We'll be here.
Okay.
Monday.
Yes. Monday, both Adam and I will be here.
So you take.
So we'll divide it upon
Salt Lake, which was plus
Gotta dress up.
Hopefully we'll be doing 2 flight plans tonight.
Oh,
on
gosh.
Monday.
And that's how.
Subtracted.
And then come Thursday next week, hopefully
So the
3.
first one's 2 hours.
Well, it tells you right here.
You're like,
Like, if
I'm
all
all
the numbers
right.
are in this box right here, like right here, it tells you right here, which location.
So your
Okay,
highest
sorry,
level
which
is
one
high
did you read off of me? That's what I was asking.
So when you
Time
look
is
at your
this.
chart, there's not a nice.
The 163.
The distance is 160.
That's cinnamon bagel, that had to be a chip.
And the time is 23, there's 25.
I do not show it.
Okay, so I wrote that
I
down.
do not take the time.
Okay.
She doesn't.
Wait till everyone wasn't looking.
It says 25, 25.
Well, and she cut the quarter off on the bagels too.
Yeah, I would, I'm not sure. I didn't think you were.
Like, thanks.
Oh,
You do just be like, I'm gonna throw it in
You
that
right, yeah.
Because this, I think.
Okay, so I got a little simple question. So when you so for the time, I got 25-25 after I divided it by 2. So if I got 25-25, can I just round it up, or do I have to stay at 25-25?
why did you divide the time by 2?
Well, no, you said
Oh,
you said
okay.
add both
Oh,
numbers up
okay.
and
Yeah,
divide by 2.
yeah. 25, yeah.
So it works like
Just
that?
name it, just round it up to the next decimal point.
Okay, because I just didn't want it to be 25.25.
Right.
Okay.
So they realistically try to-
I don't really eat
You
too
go,
much.
now you go to like.
Are they here? Maybe don't
But
go
remember-
that side then.
and
So
so-
they'll start eating.
So you got
one,
25, 25.
You have to like cut them into 3.
I wrote down
because
25.
It's just,
No,
they
no,
all
no.
become-
Okay, so-
yeah, it's so
So when you
much.
add those two up.
I just not trying to stick though.
No,
Lighter.
they're pretty
No.
fluffy. It's
Does
like
that make
bread.
Some
One,
And then
so the
it's
big
closer
one.
to donut.
Only numbers like
It's so
that.
thin.
It's
pretty much
sliced, like-
Right, it is, yes.
I mean, like, yeah, the simple ones. The best thing to do with those is you take the top off, you leave the bottom.
I'm just gonna go try one.
Good.
Cents come after.
Really good.
Yeah, so the descent charts are like way in the back.
Okay, so what's our,
I'm just using 64,000.
Oh, okay. So that's
Yeah. And then the 64 and the 66 are on 2 pages, I think.
just to make it fun.
Just.
First. This is what I said.
Everybody got their top climb, top descent?
Working on
Not
the
yet.
sound.
Okay.
So
Yvonne, you do that top and bottom on all
Saying it
of
goes
them.
across too.
You can do the top and bottom on
I actually like
each,
doing this part.
on each one of those.
This part's fun.
No.
Now you're gonna do the top.
So we're at
So
380,
you didn't.
do we need that?
So
Then
now you just, you figure
from
out.
390 on the chart.
No, I'm still
370
doing
on the
Salt
chart.
Lake, I didn't do the Denver.
Right. Maybe
I'm just saying how you said it, right?
No, you're doing it right.
Or you said you do highest.
Find the average between the two
Highest and lowest
boxes.
on all four.
So if it, here's the trick, if it's 4 boxes,
Okay, so make
so
sure
let's
I'm
say
on
that
the
your
right
performance
box.
heads up in 4 boxes,
So 380 in.
take the high and the low,
No.
Wait, now
and
you
just
got
average those two.
So you're.
So you
you're
got 4 boxes
66.
here,
Holy cow.
No,
Yeah, I
that's.
see what you're doing.
okay? Just take the.
The highest number is the
The
lowest.
highest and the lowest,
No, I understand.
Do that.
Instead of, that's the all four.
Instead of all 4.
Okay, so there's,
As
as brilliant
brilliant,
charts, it's
so-
not any like.
I tried it both ways.
So you need
Just
these
check it out.
two,
Yeah.
There was a difference of like
So the way we're
and then
using,
you put them side by
Dude,
side,
I got one of
because
those.
there's 64,000,
Uh,
66,000.
Or
For the
That's
top
okay.
one.
For the top one. For the top of descent, just do the landing weight, just add 300 pounds on there, and that'll get you pretty close.
Oh,
Okay, so
I feel like you need to put.
for my knots,
Right?
I got 388.
Sounds good?
But if you take your,
Okay.
oh yeah,
Got 2 pages out.
That's why I was getting it wrong. So, okay, I
I'm gonna
got
ask you.
23.
I don't know, I think you have.
I like doing this part.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my.
So you have to use your weight.
Oh, you know what, we forgot to use this, pick runways too.
You
Yeah.
use zero fuel work, right? On this side.
Have a little
Zero fuel. She's the same.
Yeah, I don't think I should do that yet. For,
So, what do you use for your descent weight?
Yeah, just like.
Okay.
a few hours.
oh, you know what? You're right.
So,
Gotta use your
Yeah.
descent weight, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
so what I just told John, so what you do is you do your landing weight, which is your
60,000.
takeoff weight, no, it's your takeoff weight minus your burn off, which is 3,700 pounds or whatever. Remember, zero fuel is,
So you wanna go up?
you'd be taking out your reserve, but your
And so
reserves.
like, the nice thing is I did kind of write down my landing weight.
So, hold on, just take your landing weight at 300 pounds, because almost all of your
At
descent
300?
charts will be about 300 pounds.
Okay.
So on your descent, do your landing weight at 300 pounds, that'll get you pretty close to where you should be.
Take your landing weight, you know, add 300 pounds.
Yes, landing weight at 300 pounds for your top of descent.
So our landing, oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
And you know how you
So,
get your
when we
landing weight,
figure
right?
out
You have
our-
to take off.
Yeah, but I didn't, I
Okay,
did
so
it, I
our,
didn't,
the
I
weight
used
that we
the
had, we had
takeoff weight.
4,500.
That's that.
So
Yeah.
whatever this is,
Okay,
I
so
don't know
That's
about
what
that.
that located.
So I just
If
had
we
a
use
question.
our,
Hold on,
I
let's-
take
we know we had
2,500 off of
37
that,
for
and
one
then I
bottle
subtract
of
37
37.3 for
Does that make sense?
Wait a second, 300 pounds?
He's just saying do 300.
Right.
300 pounds to
She
your
says
landing
to
weight?
add it.
Yes.
Right, to add it to
Oh.
your landing.
So remember,
As in on the descent, we're only gonna use 300 pounds of fuel?
No,
On top of?
because they pull the engine back up diagonal.
that's,
Oh,
no,
really?
he didn't say that.
You're gliding.
Yeah,
Oh, top of.
This is our takeoff weight.
yeah, they're gliding in.
We have to take the fuel that we
Okay.
burn before we land.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Here.
If you look at your descent charts, when you take a look at your descent charts, you can see what I'm saying.
That's the fuel. So we subtract.
So it's this number right here. Take 2,500 off of this.
Let's get to some descent here.
Don't use the same.
Subtract
Oh, there's
Okay,
different
so then-
37.33.
So you take 37.33 away from that, and that is your landing weight.
No.
And then that is your
Then I'll say
I assume it's 8%.
So at ISA,
I'll show you. I think I got 60.
at ISA, look at your fuel burn. So your
I'm
fuel,
never gonna remember
it's
that.
like
You will.
257 to 389. Just
Takes
depending
no
on how high you are.
I did it today.
Even some, if you're down at like 25,000 feet, that's 102.
So I'm gonna try.
So I'm on the brake release weight page, so that's good.
62.
So I
So
got 607.
That's all I have.
No, I'm on the wrong page, initial descent weight. I did the brake release weight.
If we have a.
I did my takeoff.
64,000.
And I would have never remembered that if we didn't say
Can we
these.
just use the 64 box?
And now we
Or
don't
do we
have
need
to worry
to?
about all this.
this is takeoff.
This would work.
60.
Yeah.
So now we can use 60 to
And
62.
what are you trying to do? Top of climb?
Yeah, top of the climb. Do I need to move over to, from the 64 box to the 606 box, or can I just stay in the 64 box?
If-
Use those numbers.
It's going to be close
So
enough.
60 to
64 box. Just use the 64.
Oh, it's going down. Okay.
Remember, we're interpolating, so there's not a perfect science to this, and everybody's going to get a little bit different numbers. But as long as you're looking at the same place on the chart for your information, that's what counts. Okay? And as long as you're not looking, everybody's looking at 64,000 pounds, but you're looking at 69,000 pounds
I have used that chart.
for some odd reason, that number's going to be a lot different than that.
We have to,
Do a trick chart.
so on the descent weight again, you said takeoff's 300 pounds off of,
Okay, so takeoff, 64, 215, okay? So our landing weight, okay,
the burn off of that.
we just take the burn off, which was minus 3,700 pounds for some people. Hold on. 3,700 pounds, let's just call this 6,400 pounds, okay? So let's go 0, 0, 3, and 60,300. Okay, that would be our landing weight. Add 300 pounds to that, what does that give us?
Initial descent.
60,600, and we can just round that up to 61,000 pounds.
Oh, I see, so the 300, now I heard what you're talking about,
Yeah,
that's
so
what we're gonna use on the
this-
descent.
The 300, this is for descent, yeah. So this is the number we'll use on our descent chart,
Okay.
okay? What we're doing is we're just gonna, if you look here, our fuel here, our fuel burns, if we're at 41,000 pounds, or 41,000 feet, which we probably won't be in this class, that's 389 pounds to descend all the way down to our airport.
I have to
They're pulling the
remember.
engines all the way back to idle,
um,
okay? If we're at 37,000 feet, 257 pounds of fuel. So
Okay.
we're not burning fuel on descent. So if we just add 300 pounds to our landing weight, we're gonna be pretty dang close.
Is, I was just wondering, I'm trying to follow
Well, erase that, no, erase
Adam's thing too.
Nope, sorry.
That's right.
And it's,
16.
I think it says 300 across the,
Are you just kind of taking right in the middle and just going for it?
okay.
Oh, so between the boxes, I'm just taking the
What was
height
that?
below.
But I don't know if it's used to.
Whatever
Just like
box is the high,
So
yes.
15. Oh, you're just taking the high.
Depends where you want.
You're not
No,
averaging.
Yeah, so you can use
Taking the
five.
high and the round down.
Either one can do that. Yeah, because as you
Almost
see,
as I heard that.
I got the
on
66,
one of Adam's videos.
60,600, I just rounded out.
Okay,
Rounded
so
out
it's
to the next thousand.
It'll be real close, it doesn't matter. Okay.
But I don't know if it.
Interpolates, what?
I'm just laughing at myself, I can't help myself.
So for this one, how do I know how much to add up? 'Cause it's falling like directly in the middle of the four boxes.
Yeah. Did you hear what I just said like 5 minutes ago?
Sorry, no, so add four, add all four.
No. You've got a box here, okay?
Yeah.
This box, this box, this box, and this box. Let's say that those are your boxes. This box right here is your highest, this box is your lowest. Find the average between your highest box and your lowest box.
Okay, so
Good.
just do those two boxes, not the
Just
other.
those two boxes. You don't need to do all four.
So if I'm at like 65,000 and the chart has 60,000 or 62, is it too far off for me just to use the 60,000 column, do you think?
You're at what? Sorry.
That the actual weight I got with the 300 pounds is like 60,600. Is it too far off for me just to use the 60,000 column, do you think?
It's your call. It's interpolate.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna tell you yes or no. But if you don't wanna round it up to 6,100 and then do two boxes, your number's gonna be pretty close.
I mean, practical, I guess I could
And
interpolate
even,
it all, but I,
even then, I mean, look at
that's why I was
this.
saying the deviation is so small.
Yeah, so look at your highest box and your lowest box if you had to do four. 18.9 to 17.3 for your time.
Yeah.
That's a minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was gonna use the 60,000 column.
So, you know, your fuel, 389, 320. You know, it's not that big of a difference.
Okay.
So as long as you're in the ballpark, that's what counts.
Okay.
Because you know what, the pilot's gonna get in here, you're gonna have 3,700 pounds for your burn, he's gonna burn 3,200 pounds. You know, that's just how it works.
It's only gonna burn 421 pounds for descending, that's,
Yeah, that's right.
that seems like it's a
Yep, I
little
got
low.
one.
All he's doing, okay, okay,
They push the clutch in and just.
Fine.
Look
Look at your time, look at your
I'll have
time.
to relook at that.
18.9 minutes with your engines at idle.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, you're only burning
400.
10.
Yeah, I might have
That's
looked at
pretty-
something.
Holy crap, or I did.
You don't want to flirt, so like that,
Yeah, so-
Yeah. So your APU burn is 260
Fuel is-
gallons
oh,
per hour,
maybe it was
or
high.
260 pounds per hour, that's
So
right.
fuel is about
260
high.
pounds per hour,
Okay.
that's for
So
your
you're
APU.
in the 300s.
So 380.
So your engines, you just got two APUs, right?
Oh, wait, I
Kind
did
of.
350.
A little more powerful.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you check me. Yeah, that's what I got.
See, that's the
I think
thing
you
that
wrote down a wrong.
350
Adam
the distance.
didn't tell us in our first class was interpolations are first.
I went wrong.
And so I was
So I
like,
really got.
0.01256, you know, like, My shit is just completely flat. My entire iPhone wires are just completely black, and I'm just trying to scribble in this tiny.
They're all.
And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. And then it was like 2 or 3 classes later, we're sitting there flight planning, and I was just following along. I wasn't even
Is
sitting.
98 the low?
And I look at it, and I'm like, that's like 30 pounds.
Yeah.
I don't care about 30 pounds of fuel.
That's why they said they just do that, but it doesn't matter which way.
That's what we were talking about.
But if the FAA is listening right now, we care about 30 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah, you all that 2 minutes doesn't matter until you're 2 minutes from the runway.
98. That's often 98.
For which one?
I can see how we're gonna take distance.
I never know.
Hours per-
But that's why we have reserves throughout this year. We don't plan to burn reserve.
2 hours.
Or no.
So is it 3 hours?
No shit.
How long is your practical?
Is our practical 3 to 4 hours or just 3 hours?
It's gonna be about 4
I'm
hours.
gonna
Oh,
just
4
go.
hours.
It's gonna be
Well,
long.
how fast you leave this flight?
Flight plan, right,
That's really where it comes down.
right.
How fast can you do a flight plan? Is the oral part of the practical test is about 30 minutes.
Okay,
He just sits down by it and he just starts asking me questions.
questions.
He'll pull up maps, he'll pull up charts, and he'll be like, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What does this mean? What is the definition of this? When you're planning fuel, what are you looking? What are the 5 factors of fuel, or 4 factors of fuel?
What are the
4,
five?
5. I just teach this stuff. Anyways,
Does he know all the acronyms? I mean, if we're like, you know, it's
I wouldn't say
is he
WHAM.
gonna-
But he's like, what are the 4 things you use for fuel planning? I wouldn't be like WHAM. I'd just be like, wind and weather. You know.
Your head say wow.
Yeah, in my interview, that's what I did. Like they're like, what 5 things have to be on a dispatch release? In my head, I was like, departure, you know, and I started, and I'm a, you know.
How many people do you think he sees doing this?
Every one of them, every single one of them. There has been people that, like, that aren't.
Do I have any opportunity to write these down when he asks them to me? Because I'm better at remembering stuff when I can write it down.
So on the
Can I take
oral
like a
part,
notebook and like a blank sheet of paper?
yeah, so this is what I did on my ADX too. When I needed like, I wrote down my palette calculation and everything on the test. You can't bring in certain material,
Right.
but they give you scratch paper, right? Scratch
should've wrote it
paper.
down.
Yep, so what I did, every time I've taken an FAA administered test, even in the military, when I was in the military, when I got in there and they gave me that scratch paper, the information I knew that I wasn't going to remember, which I ended up remembering because I wrote it down. I would just go and I would just like write it all as fast as I could on that scratch paper,
First.
and it's legal. It's legal then. You didn't bring it into the test, you're
Right,
not
you wrote it
cheating.
down.
It's all from your memory. You're just regurgitating it onto the paper.
In a way that you can
Wait, so
remember.
you're saying we can bring in notes?
No.
Oh, sorry. I
Come on, man!
was working on a problem here.
No.
Does that count towards your
Okay.
time?
All in your head.
Does that count
Yeah.
towards your time? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you can't bring any notes.
Okay.
You can't bring any like
You can't even bring your
computers
pencil.
or whatever.
Nothing.
Yeah, like in your ADX, you don't need to worry about that. But in your practical, you can bring a pen and a pencil and a highlighter and a calculator and a ruler. And if you're going to use your phone, you have to know that you are only using the E6B function of the phone.
So you're on
Put on
airplane
airplane
mode.
Yep.
Okay.
So, that being said, he gives you this piece of scratch paper. So if there's anything that you need to remember that you're scared you're not going to, memorize it really quick before you come in to take your practical. And then as soon as you get in there, just write it all down as fast as you can on that scratch
That is
paper.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That way,
20 minutes later, you're like,
that way, that way you have your notes.
Okay, got it.
but it's legal because you didn't carry it in with you.
Just carried it in mind.
Yeah,
You
You
can
brought it
remember
in.
something for
Take
10
it as
minutes to
paper,
walk in.
yeah, you brought it in your mind, but you didn't bring in,
No, this
there
would
is
really-
nothing against that.
This would really help if I had a photographic memory, right? Look at everything and be, oh, I already know that.
Well, that'd help everybody, but.
Has he ever had-
So many more things.
Has he ever had someone who like makes up songs to remember things?
Whatever you gotta do,
Amen.
you know what?
And I hope
If
you
you,
remember
as
the
long as
states
you
when
spit it out the right way, it doesn't matter how you memorized it.
So
As long as it comes out right.
There's a lot of freaking-
Will Ferrell.
My dad's from
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we do if we figure our,
Top of climb, top of descent.
Can we figure out
Figure
just
all that
one
out.
segment?
Huh?
I know we have to do runways.
I think that
Can we
goes
just
over
figure
there
out
goes
one
on.
segment?
Yeah, you guys can do your IFR flight plan really quick. We can figure out runways after if you want.
Do you guys wanna do runways or do you wanna figure out one segment at least?
Well, it should only be one segment, really.
So it's Denver to top of climb and then top of descent to Salt Lake? Are those?
No, so
No,
it's
then
gonna
I think
be,
it's gonna be top of climb to top of descent, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure, cause it's such a short flight.
That's what I'm.
And then to top of, I just wanna figure out that leg.
so what's your distances really quick?
For top of climb,
Top of climb, what's your distance?
163.1 nautical miles.
Okay, what's your top of descent?
140? Did you get that?
Distance?
Yeah.
That's not what I have.
No, the distance is 169 or 163.
For top of descent?
For
What's
top
your-
of descent, I have 105.5, but I struggled on that one, so.
Okay, let's just add these two up together. So 6, what was that? 8, 6, 2.
okay,
Okay, minus the 300, what, 73? Okay, what's that? It's like a difference of 100 and
105.
change.
okay, I'm way off on that number because 163.1 is what I got for distance and not time, and you're saying that's the time is 160.
That's
No.
distance.
That's the distance.
169, that's, everybody's gonna have a little bit different, but 169.
I thought you were describing the time. That's
He's
all.
talking,
No.
he's talking
No,
about,
we're looking
Oh,
at
forget my
distance.
numbers.
Descent.
That's, yeah, forget my numbers. I was on the wrong page anyway, never mind.
Okay,
see, we're doing the climb. and then
So-
Oh,
your top of climb is 163 miles, your top of descent is 105 miles. 105 miles between the two. What's my comfort zone per leg?
2 to 250.
200.
That's what Yep, so anything less than that's like gravy, right? So we're pretty much going top of climb, or Denver to top of climb, and then our en route, our cruise is gonna be top of climb to top of descent, and then down to Salt Lake. So we've got to plan 3 legs,
okay, now.
and you guys have already planned 2, so how do you feel?
Okay, then,
Better?
well,
Where'd you get the 370, what was it, 373, that was our total distance between Salt Lake and
Okay.
So 169 to,
so you said that you do one. I don't know.
For,
Hold on, let's go.
you're trying to figure out your leg, the distance between the 2?
Yeah, so I would add the top of climb, the top of descent,
Top of climb,
yeah, and that's,
top of descent, add these 2 together,
okay.
okay? Once I have that number, then I take this X and I'll subtract it from, so X subtracted from our 373 for total distance, right?
What is the X mean, times?
No, that's just the
Oh, it's random variable.
variable. So whatever this equals, just,
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
whatever it is. Anyways, okay, 373 minus that number, that is your en route.
That's your end route,
That's how much distance I have between top of climb and top of descent.
so that's your cruise,
That'll be my cruise.
okay.
So in this case, it's 105 miles. We don't really have to do anything We don't have to do multiple legs, that's the reason why I did this. This is not part of your normal flight planning, I'm just trying to make sense of things.
And
Okay.
373 is what you got off of your speed.
No,
Okay, and what was it?
we are dealing with distance here.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
what was the 373 from?
373 is our total distance from Denver to Salt Lake.
Okay,
142.
I totally understand now.
No, you're good. Okay.
Well, process.
So that being said, you've got your burn at your top of climb. Okay, so what is our takeoff weight was what, 64,215. What was the fuel burn to top of climb?
2,388 pounds is what I have.
Okay, 2,388, we'll run with that. Okay, what is 64,215 minus 2388? This is whatever you guys got.
61,827.
Okay, 6120 or 827. This is what you're going to use for that leg that's 105 miles between Denver and Salt Lake. So you've got Denver, you got Salt Lake. Okay. Here's your top of climb, here's your top of descent. We know that top of climb, once we hit this point right here, right, you guys have it written out like this, right? Okay, so our top of climb, we know that we are going to weigh 61,000 pounds, 827. Okay, so with that number, we can figure out our cruise leg. So look at your, since we're doing we're just gonna finish off our IFR flight plan, jump over to your IFR flight plan. Okay.
Gotta have a lot of information to find it.
On the 163 this leg. And that's what we were calculating here, find out that there's an history of variables. We're calculating that leg. That's what that 104 is, that is the unit
So I'm thinking that the distance is right
Is your
here.
first distance, right?
Mhm.
And 105 is our descent.
Total distance.
That's right, that's the distance of that leg.
169.
What did I say?
They got a little bit different.
Total time, 26 minutes, right?
Hey Jordan, what was your true airspeed?
True airspeed, 387.5 knots.
2458.
So this is off my top of climb, right?
Yeah. Okay,
And then aircraft weight.
your total distance, whoa, that was weird.
So you take this minus this, or that number that we figured out.
Well, that's 61.
You need to know how much the aircraft weighs at the top.
Okay, what was your distance for that again, Jordan?
For the first leg,
Yeah, for the climb.
163.1.
Okay. What was your total time?
And my time is 25.3 minutes.
Okay, and your total burn?
It's 2,388 pounds.
I got 2, 3, English at 20.
So you just transfer that over.
Mm-hmm.
387 on TA.
So that last box you just moved it, right?
Yeah, that last box, I just put it over there.
That's what I didn't know. Just
I just got 387.5, which is essentially the same. So that's what he's writing down.
What does it say, 6421?
Okay, what did you get for your descent box?
Okay, so
What was your true airspeed?
376.
Okay. Now, what was your segment distance? Just 1 second, let me get it right size here. Okay, segment
We
distance.
got 98.9.
Oops. Okay. What did,
The fuel was 358. What do you want?
time real
Okay.
quick.
16.4.
Okay.
And then the fuel was 358.
Thank you.
Is it a big difference if I put 386 for my true airspeed? Or is that what, it's just whatever?
No.
Whatever.
386, 387, tomato there.
So, yeah.
What jet route are we gonna be on? Let's see.
I didn't see a jet
Yeah. What did you have?
because we're almost like yield.
Yeah.
I mean, I printed it out and
Oh yeah, it's meeker to meeker, huh?
yeah, it's maker to maker.
I don't know.
I didn't see any jet route.
It took me about 3 attempts to use the right business.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to follow up on the read.
Oh, I just found it. If you switch to your low chart, see what airway we're on?
The Victor route.
Victor 200. So that's what we'll put here.
Oh no, you said the wrong box. Ah, and pen.
That's for actual speed, right? TAS.
TAS is our true airspeed.
True airspeed. Garrett, do we have copies of all of these forms on the hard drive?
Yes, and I've got a lot here too.
Can you go?
How do we find ISA for our cruise?
ISA for our cruise. Wins a loft chart.
Okay, how did you get, what is it, 44,848?
I want you to be working on the cruise. I'm just filling out the stuff that we already have as far as information on the IFR flight plan. So that's the bow weight, or sorry, that's not, or no, that needs to go over here to bow weight, but
Oh, okay, I was like, that's not a problem.
yeah. I'm just transferring some data over.
What's our magnetic course for the cruise?
What was that?
What's the magnetic course for our cruise leg?
So look at your Sky Vector and look at the 52 or Victor 200 route. So look at your purple line and switch it to the low chart, and you'll see the low VORs, and they should give you radials off of those.
And then what about our true airspeed on that in that leg?
It should have been in that box, in your performance box.
Performance box.
Yep, just like we did top of climb and top of descent, there's a cruise.
For cruise,
chart.
did you get an ISA number for cruise, anybody yet?
No.
Okay, because I don't know if it's ISA plus 10 or ISA minus 10, okay.
Probably plus 10,
Okay.
based off the other numbers.
Are you cruise? We're cruising altitude? What, so we're talking about?
I'll show you what I'm talking about.
That might be the problem, I know what we're talking about.
How did you get magnetic course? I know it's supposed to, but I couldn't understand.
So Sky Vector
Yeah, I'm on
goes to your world load chart.
I'm on there.
Okay, Victor route, you can see that your purple line falls on a Victor route.
Victor 200.
Yep, look at the VORs on that route to see what radial you're on.
260. Oh.
There you go.
That's our ice.
So now I have to do the average. The average rate, -55. So -55 minus 61, which is minus the 85.
So now this is the actual temperature.
So these are huge.
So what'd you put?
But that's at 34, don't
I
need
know.
to be 38.
And I put 39. No,
Well,
I'm
because
just
that's
saying,
not on-
it's a
on-
No,
little
fine with
Not
compensation.
really.
close, do you know what I mean?
That's all I've done.
He put us at
Okay,
38.
so that's
I
what
can
it is, that
actually
was-
say it too. I just don't know.
Yeah, but you gotta do a leg.
That's
From top
what
to
I'm
Well,
bottom.
trying to do.
it depends,
So
because here
that's
it's
TFC and TOD right here.
64, and so it's going to be
TOC,
colder right now, it's warmer.
TFC, TOD all in one box.
Yes.
So if it's,
Okay, and then
And I
what's
know
the
this
difference
is
right here?
not, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I have
Your
to
time
put it
is
down.
set.
Use this out.
Performance chart.
Okay, hold on, here's the down my section somewhere.
Don't look at my stuff, man. You can't be cheating off my
I'm
stuff.
not, but I'm trying to figure out how you got these
So I'm
numbers.
taking
Because,
37.
Well, how did you look at the performance charts, right?
Yeah, so.
I got them off the performance charts.
I'm not paying attention to these, they're all in the
You'll
wrong
probably
spot.
just use that.
So, here. Oh, okay, so
So
this
I
is just
think
my
right now,
landing weight? Or?
No, that's your takeoff.
that's 63.
Takeoff weight, and then that's the fuel you burn.
I think it's
2389.
just the basic.
But if you use these
That's
numbers,
your weight
you're
out
gonna have a
burn.
negative.
Then honestly, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
We're not there. We
So
gotta
you're
figure
saying
out.
it's
Crazy.
crazy just because that's the chart.
Full day. But I'll go back to it might be IC.
Okay. Salt Lake
I'm gonna
City.
do it now, and I'll use the 39,000, we'll compare.
This is your TOD, right?
Okay.
And then we've got
So which
Denver.
routes did you use to estimate?
So what I'm trying to do now is, I'm trying to.
That's how you're right. That's how your flight plan looks right now.
Right.
So now we've gotta do one that's
So I know that we are from.
this leg. You've got two legs on yours right now. We need to do one more leg, and that leg's gonna be called TOC to TOD.
Okay, so all that right here.
And then we use our performance charts.
So if you go on a long term.
Okay.
But I'm so close to
Okay.
that's what he's doing right now.
Let's figure out our IC deviation. 64 and 65, we're gonna use the same VORs, right? That we use to find our average, we'll use the same VORs. Okay, let's just. I'm gonna take it easy on you on this one, okay? 64 and 65, okay? So we're gonna round that up to 65 degrees. This is at 39,000 feet. 390, okay? What is our ISA at 39,000 feet?
-6, oh, that's 38, I'm
39, it's,
sorry. 63,
Six-
-63 Celsius.
Negative 63 degrees Celsius, okay? This is ISA at 380. Okay, okay, or 390, my bad, 390, okay. ISA at 390 is negative 63 degrees. What, we're using 65,000 feet. Or I mean, negative 65 degrees, negative 65 degrees and, sorry, negative 65 degrees, ISA is negative 63 degrees. So write it out on your number line. Here's negative 65 right here. Or I mean, negative 63. Here's negative 65, right? We're moving to the right. Is that a plus or a minus? Is it warmer or colder?
It's colder.
Okay.
Minus.
So minus.
-10.
-2.
Yeah, it's -2, so we would use the -5 chart. Or 5. Is there a -5 chart? Or does it jump to
I don't
-5?
think so.
Oh, wait, no. This is where everybody gets confused. Okay, so ISA deviation. ISA deviation,
I was confused a long time ago.
okay.
No, that was right.
Okay, no. Okay, ISA deviation is equal, so this is at 38,000 feet, right? At 38,000 feet. ISA deviation is minus 2 degrees Celsius, right?
It's like 76.
I would figure any other tells us that.
No.
The deviation
The
is 2
deviation.
degrees. I don't know if I'd call it a minus or a plus, but.
Well, it's a colder or warmer result,
Oh.
It's
No.
cold.
because it's 65 right now. ISA is
65.
63.
Yeah, that's.
So if it's 65 right now, it's 2 degrees colder. So
Negative
it's negative.
65 is,
Okay.
That
Should-
it
it
needs to be,
should
it
be
needs to be
right.
this way, so you're looking
Oh.
at warmer and
It's
colder
63,
instead of.
because if you take 39 times 2.
That's our ISA.
Not the.
That's not the temperature right now.
Deviation. That is
That's the
ISA.
ISA, like the chart that says what it should be at any given time.
Our temperature is 65 off of our winds and water chart.
So the standard
I'm
is
just saying.
63.
So hold on,
Because you're
hold
not
all
always 15
sidebars,
degrees.
hold on, all sidebars, we're gonna figure this out, okay? Sorry,
Okay, so I know that we're.
so hold on, okay, hold on. Everybody just hold on. Okay, we are trying to figure out ISA, because we only have 39,000 feet here. ISA, hold on. Shh, I know our flight level's 380. Shh, hold on. ISA at 390, okay? 390. That's where our winds aloft is reporting, so that's what we're going to use. ISA at 390, we take these first two numbers, right? Put a decimal in the point, or in there, okay? Or no, sorry, decimal point would be after, but, okay, 39,000 feet, 39 times 2.
78.
78, okay?
Negative.
78 degrees, negative 78 because we're really freaking cold at 39,000 feet. Okay, we've got to subtract, we got to take away 15 degrees, right?
And since it's a negative number,
But
technically we're adding it.
since it's a negative number, we're gonna,
I mean,
okay,
you gotta take into
Hold
account
on.
15 degrees at sea level.
okay, 15 degrees at sea level. So we have, this is ISA at sea level. This is our standard, okay? We subtract our corrected temperature. So subtract 78. What does a double negative do?
Positive.
Okay,
No, you wanna subtract the 78.
subtract 78.
Yeah, don't add it.
Or a double negative is
Okay.
positive, yeah, that messes me up.
So it's 78 degrees.
Okay.
Or 39 times 2 is 78. Okay, 38 times 2, or 39 times 2 is 78. Okay, 15 degrees out, or is our standard temperature. We've got to subtract 78 degrees, or 78. Okay, we're not changing any signs, we're not doing anything weird. 39 times 2 equals 78. We take our outside, our standard temperature and subtract our corrected temperature. That gives us
60.
negative 63, a negative 63. This is ISA. Okay, this is standard temperature at 39,000 feet. Okay, now we've got to figure out our deviation. Our deviation, we are currently 65 degrees. Okay, here's our number line. This is 0 here. This would be positive over here, right? Plus
Positive,
5,
right?
whatever it is. Okay, we are at, our ISA on this number line is negative 63. This is ISA. Our current temperature that we pull off of here is negative 65 degrees. Okay? Negative 65 is to the right of negative 63, correct? Yes?
Right.
Okay. If we move to the right, that is a negative direction, right? So, at this point, we would say Our ISA deviation at 39,000 feet currently, right now, is -2 degrees Celsius. Everybody good there?
Yes.
Okay, since it is -2 degrees Celsius, we don't have a chart for -2, ISA -2, right? So we want to limit our performance, not increase our performance. So we have to go warmer, right?
So use ISA.
So we would use ISA. We would use our ISA chart. Because we want to go warmer. If we go to the -10 chart, we're increasing our performance.
You're going even
The
higher.
colder it gets, the better our performance. Okay? So we want to go that way. We want to go to the left.
And I do need to get a picture of that.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
So then,
Super confusing.
very.
I'm good at figuring out the deviation, I just have a really hard time with the negative positive part of it.
Me
Yeah,
too.
What I can understand, well, I know what this is, but I don't know if we're on the top of descent part, or like if you're talking about that with top of descent part.
We're in our in route. So our leg is 65 and 64. We took the average 64 and a
So you
half.
just take zero,
We just call it 65.
ISA 0.
Yeah, that is very.
Is that when you start descending, that's what descent is?
So that's our in
I would
route.
have never got that.
That should, okay.
Remember, we're trying to divide this into, this flight is 3 segments long,
Because we don't want to go.
okay? This is our top of descent. This is our top of climb. Okay, we've got all of our performance data for this, we've got all of our performance data for this, but there's a 105 nautical mile gap between these two, correct? So we've got to connect these dots and find the performance for that 105 miles, right? So that being said, we know that these two VORs are in this. Rock Springs is somewhere over here, MBW is somewhere over here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 stations that are giving us our weather. You can look them up on Skyvector. Denver's right here, MBW is somewhere right here, and Rock Springs is in this bottom, the most southwest corner of Wyoming. Right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I should drive there every week.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
So these are our 2 stations. So they both fall in this 105 nautical mile leg. So we're just going to use the average of both of those stations to give us our ISA deviation. And our ISA deviation, we found out that we are going to use the ISA chart. Okay, this chart was the ISA plus 15, right? And our top of descent was ISA plus what? Plus 10?
Less than.
10 or
Okay.
5. 10?
10 or 5, whatever one
No, it
you
was-
used.
I used 15.
You used 15?
Yeah, because ISIS was 18. What's usually
But I don't know.
Everybody might have used something a little bit different. It's okay, the difference isn't gonna be that big.
Oh,
Okay.
no, that, sorry, for Salt Lake, yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
used
Salt
10,
Lake.
Sorry.
That was 10?
Okay.
Okay. So we used ISA 10, ISA 15. Okay.
I don't.
Did anyone find the chart for that?
It's right here, but the one thing is, this is the chart. This is the chart, but I don't know how to interpolate. I'm thinking it's this one, right? And then we're at 61 or something pounds, and so we're at, this is where we have to take our weight and times it by 2 because of 2 inches or something.
The 2 engines. We don't take our weight, we just do our engines. So our
That's
engines, our fuel
fuel
burn.
usage, right?
Yeah, so our fuel burn is pounds per hour per hour.
And that's this new number.
Yeah, that's gonna be that
Somewhere.
middle number.
So we can like interpolate those two.
Either those two or these four. We were at 61 pounds.
Yeah, so we're at 61 something. So 61, technically, we're in between 4 boxes, right? So we
So
take
highest and lowest.
the highest box, which will be the one in the top left, and the lowest, which is the bottom
Is
left.
there magnetic push
And find the average
this one?
between those two boxes.
So it's gonna be those 2 boxes.
I don't.
Yeah. Because 39,000 pounds and your higher weight, sorry.
He didn't put that.
Let me make
He
sure.
did.
So for that, we just have to find.
No, I'm sorry, it's top right, bottom left.
I have one entry.
Top right, bottom left.
Maybe that's why my numbers are wrong.
No, it's,
So,
Cause I
Like
didn't,
dry
I've
skin.
just been using the
we're at
60
the
columns
260,
now.
magnetic push.
for my boxes.
Right here, right? I don't know, I forgot which one.
Steel worker, so.
All right.
No, I don't know, did you look at the quarter from Denver
No,
to
I
the top?
do,
Well,
the.
So right here,
I
let's-
got that, yeah.
Be a 90.
I know that's what you wrote. Let's look at your actual chart, okay? Your top of climb from Denver to, let's say that it's this Kremlin, it's like 267 from these two VORs. So I would just say 267. But it doesn't matter because we don't care wind-wise what's going on, right? So if you put 267 there, you do 267 or you're climbing the same.
So this is always gonna be the same number for here and here.
Like,
Or
be-
rough.
No.
I don't know.
For here and for here. On this line and this line only.
We make,
So, 260, I remember getting 260, like I showed you, I just can't figure out where I got it.
Okay,
And that was the top climb.
your top of climb is somewhere right here, correct? And your top of descent is somewhere over here, correct? Somewhere like right here. Okay, on this, you have this VOR and it's all on a Victor route, correct? Okay, this VOR, if you look at the Meeker VOR, this Victor route flies on what radial?
258.
258.
So this would be 258.
So I don't know why you put 260, but it's 258.
Okay, so just for this one then.
Your other one,
Yeah,
you're just gonna have to average the two.
What numbers do we need? Do we need all 6 numbers?
With this one, you need your fuel burn and you need your true air.
You're right, so we only need those.
Oh.
Can we stop here? Yeah, I've gotta run and I don't
Oh,
wanna.
I've gotta be up
I'm
at
just
4,
a,
so.
honestly, like, I'm.
So besides,
that's fine.
Quarter.
so we're gonna have
Like
like 1438, 1438, 1465, like.
And then you said
That's pretty much what I'm doing.
Huh?
Where's this?
I wonder if I have that.
It does, it scares me because I'm just like planning my escape route.
Per hour.
Yeah, I scare myself easily.
They don't have to do that one.
So, for your climb, you got cruise and then.
Yeah.
Really?
Everyone's minds are just
Yeah,
melting.
sorry.
You guys are good.
My mind's has been melted for quite some time tonight.
Okay. Adam's gonna come and save you guys from my style of teaching.
Totally necessary.
Yeah. I can tell.
Energy. Oh, yeah.
And that's close, you got, I mean, my numbers are off a little bit.
Yeah.
My really,
Yeah.
and it's just like they,
Do you know where that number?
like, if you go, like, if you go through my, like, my algorithm account, like, it's all hormones. Every single one. Like, every once in a while, I'll have like thriller drop down, or, like,
Don't have.
You have your eyes
but
and he was doing,
Yeah. Each their
so
own.
that's time. You have to-
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is the one I think you guys
Ever. Just consider me boring.
and we just did 62 pounds.
Still wrong.
The two numbers that you take, I still don't know
Glad
what
everybody's-
are the pounds for fuel. That's so here's the fuel.
Half done.
Yeah.
And this one.
There's like a girl space between my legs now,
Oh, yeah.
like right here down my leg. I have a blister on the back leg. I don't know.
I sent you my checklist, I don't know.
I thought,
Well, this is
Weird.
nice.
Those are like-
oh no, it's definitely weird.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I like.
No, no.
It's fine.
The far one you don't have.
On my
to have
Instagram page, I write
your
it
average
off,
is
like,
like
it's
two.
in like.
And then I think
I
the
can
average
like
is
just read.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Garrett.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll listen for you guys tomorrow.
Okay.
Me
Sorry,
too.
everybody's,
Jordan, are you out of town
brains
this
melted.
weekend, or you wanna?
Charlie, tell me
Get
how it
together.
goes on
I
Sunday.
think I'll be here.
Sunday we might get together.
Email me or
You guys wanna,
Okay, we'll email you.
no, phone numbers, whatever?
Yeah.
I can send that out.
Yeah, email. Okay for me. I
Yeah,
can give you my
on this?
phone number.
Yeah, it's on my,
Okay.
yeah, you can have it for the whole class.
No problem.
Thank you.
And if you take it back to Hawaii, that's a little St. George gift.
That's like, I have to work. Come on, do you live here?
Is it okay if I